then we will actually start recording.
Yeah.
Once we know we're running and everything is tickety boo.
Tickety boo.
Ian, you referenced that fucking Red Dwarf advert in one of the reviews that we did. I didn't even realise they'd done one. No.
Oh man, fucking.
Obviously, I found it.
You saw the Harvey Keitel advert?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, man.
It's disgusting. I hate it.
Where the world has come to, yeah.
Hey Scarrow85, we are just in the pre-podcast staging. We're going slightly early today.
Oh shit, yeah, we're on.
Hey Chris.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we just want to make sure that the sound level's working, that everything is in working order.
I'm just going to throw it out now. It is hotter than a motherfucker up in here.
It is really hot.
Like, it's got to be at least
there is no ventilation in this
degrees.
house.
You know,
it's one of the reasons why I've been looking to move out. Because I hate this place.
It's still heat wave. It's the fucking,
it is a heat wave, but the thing is, it is a heat trap. Like, there is no ventilation at all. There's no breeze. There's no wind. It's just the way this house is. And it's just the same during the winter, you know? You can't keep the heat in.
It's like Amityville. It's like the fucking priest in the room with the flies. It's like, get out!
I'm trying.
We look like, at the end of this podcast, we'll look like that little boy from the Blob. He's melted into his
I don't even think that's warm in here.
You wait,
really?
motherfucker.
I'm alright.
You wait.
Fucking northern air.
You wait until you start shouting at us for some reason.
It's not freezing, so I'm okay.
Yeah. What's up, bitches? What up, Dave?
What's up, Dave?
What up, Serge? What up, Matthias? See, Scarrow even agrees as well. What up, boss? Oh, careful, because boss is a police officer.
Is he?
He carries a gun.
He is the law.
He is the law. Boss is the law.
I did watch Straight Outta Compton recently as well.
You did? Man, that film was great.
I haven't actually.
I enjoyed it. Yeah,
it's on my to-watch list.
You still not watched it?
No.
You're supposed to watch it fucking years ago.
Yeah, I know.
I really want to watch it.
I've watched it twice, and as you know, I don't watch things more than once very often, and I've seen that twice now.
The story, I mean, I really like the story that they're telling.
Yes.
And on top of that, I'm a big fan of those kind of films. Like, I love Menace to Society. I love Boys in the Hood. I love half of Tupac Shakur's filmography.
I was a big fan of those, but I also was a big fan of the music at the time as well.
Yeah.
So.
Oh man, I love Eazy-E in that movie.
Ice Cube, he's my favourite. I think the guy who plays him, he just does a
it's his
fantastic
son, isn't it?
job.
It's Ice Cube's son playing it.
Well,
but it's the fact that you don't really know Eazy-E's story much, unless obviously you're into the music and you're looking into the history.
I didn't know so much about his time. I knew about the NWA and.
Do you want to know my theory though?
Tupac's alive.
No, he's totally dead. Right.
He's in Brazil apparently.
So you know the part in the movie where Eazy-E goes over and has food with his producer mate?
Yes, Eric, not Eric.
The guy played by Paul Giovanni.
The Jewish lawyer type.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So he has the food there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Finds out that the guy's cheating him his money. Gets really upset. Leaves. And then what happens?
He fucks the police.
He comes down with
AIDS. Oh.
Yeah, man. Little sneaky behind.
Oh, sneaky AIDS.
Yeah.
Right in the chick food.
There you go. AIDS
Yes, there you go.
In the food.
In the food, right? Yeah.
Do you know how AIDS is transmitted?
Yeah.
Do we have to have the birds and the bees talk?
I saw on South Park he squared it into Butter's mouth.
Easy had a lot of money as well, so he would have been able to cure it.
Yes, but that's what the police want you to know, want you to think. You know, it's all the FBI, man. Who do you think killed Tupac and Biggie?
They're alive. They're in Brazil. Did you not read the story
they're
recently?
They're hooking up with Kurt Cobain.
It's just fake deaths, man. It's just fake deaths.
Yeah,
fake news.
It's fake news. Yeah, man, I had a haircut.
Me too.
Really?
No. I had a hair loss. That was it. A hair loss.
Yeah, everybody's drinking beers and I've got my cold cup of tea, which is good because I'm driving.
Alright, I think we're ready to get this podcast on the go.
Yeah. Okay. Paul Giamatti, yeah.
Hitting the record. Hello, welcome to Off the Shelf Reviews podcast number 33.
33!
I'm Gary.
I'm driving.
And as a guest today, we have our friend from out of town, Dan.
Hi.
Dan has appeared on a couple of Gaming Fridays in the background and has always moderated the podcast for us. And now he's here in person to share his knowledge about films.
Everybody knows you as Nella.
Not so much knowledge, but
Nella the
experience.
man, popping in every now and again into comment sections. Fuck you, Nella.
yeah, fuck you too.
And of course,
gotta keep you modest.
Yeah.
and of course, with the podcast, we're going to catch up on the most recent films and games and TV shows. We don't have a theme for this podcast.
Well, no, because we're kind of in holiday mode at the moment. During the 6 weeks of summer holidays that I get off from work, we work like mad. We fucking record like bastards. Obviously, all our preempt Hollywood, Halloween and Christmas shit, and then we've got Nella down for the weekend, and it's just like.
Gotta do an extra work.
We're just throwing it to the wind.
I asked when you were the busiest, and I said that's when I'm going to come down.
Yeah, that's when we come down.
Yeah, me and Ian are kind of both. I mean, I can't speak for Ian, but I am definitely on the precipice of burnout over the last couple of weeks.
Man,
doing all of the Halloween videos, of course, as well as making sure the weekly content is there, as well as doubling down so that we can have a week off means lots of extra content. Plus, we're in the middle of a freaking heat wave.
Yeah.
There is no ventilation in our recording space.
Yeah.
And so we will be cutting this podcast a little bit shorter.
Whoa.
Just so that I make sure I don't murder you both.
Well, yeah, we were going to just go with, obviously, speaking to the audience, chiming in with you guys, find out what you've been up to, what we've been up to. And just,
but we will definitely have a Q&A section. Yeah, and of course we will have the news.
Yeah.
But to catch up, obviously I missed the last podcast, so there's been...
Oh, shit, yeah.
there's been quite a few TV shows and films released over the last 2 months.
All right.
I've not had to catch you up on.
Yeah.
But one of the most recent games that I've delved into is Hunt Showdown. It was purchased by one of our patrons, one of our subscribers, who said, Gary, you need to play this game. So I'd heard of Hunt Showdown. I knew it was out there. I knew it was by Crysis.
Yeah.
Of the developers that made the game Crysis. I've loved their work ever since the early Far Cry games.
Yeah.
Outstanding games makers. Not the best storytellers.
No, but they make the environments really well, and then everything
they make
inside
games.
it.
They know how to sell video cards.
Exactly. They make you. They sell video cards for graphics cards for PCs because you want to benchmark whether your PC can run their bloody game.
My PC still can't run Crysis.
Right.
No.
And Hunt Showdown, it releases on the 27th of August. It's been in early access since the 22nd of February 2018. It's coming out on the PlayStation 4 and on the Xbox.
Is it first person
Really?
or third person?
It's a first person shooter.
Yeah.
You can play it solo, you can play it co-op, and after last week's patch, you can now play as a team of 3, and they've also upped the player count on the map. So I've not actually tried the 3-player mode yet. I've not had time.
Yeah.
But the setup for it is it's kind of like early 1900s, set in Louisiana, and the kind of Left 4 Dead type monsters have taken over the planet.
Nice.
You are a bounty hunter.
Mutants.
You will go into the I call it an arena with a teammate or 2 teammates now, and the match lasts 1 hour. You get 60-minute timer at the start. If you die, it's also permadeath.
Yeah.
You'll have a resource pool. You'll buy bounty hunters. You'll equip them up, but if they die, erased. So you have that kind of tension and fear while you're playing it as you're leveling up this bounty hunter. If he dies, it's over.
It's over. So you need a proper team.
But
to
it's
be
all
there,
about the
keep
environment.
You alive.
It's all about the atmosphere and the music and the sound effects. Like if you see crows flying off, it's because something has startled them. If you can hear gunshots in the distance, and that's other players. They are also bounty hunting the same monsters that you are, and it's a race to find the monster, find the clues, lead you to the monster, kill the monster, get the bounty, and then get to extraction, all without dying.
But does Ian make your team of 3?
What?
Does he make your team? Do you choose him?
Well, Ian's not playing it.
Yeah, he does.
Ian's on the PC game.
I don't play PC. I don't want to play in a game that has a permadeath character.
I've been playing with the Shelfers, and we've had some games where we've gone in, we've killed the creature, and we've extracted without bumping into anybody. We've had other games where we've gone into the corner, we've gone through the farm, we've looked over, bop, both dead. Because other players have just spotted us and killed us, and we didn't even see them coming.
Yeah, no, fuck that shit.
It's a game where you're either going to love it or hate it. It's not like your Fortnite or your arena-based games.
Yeah, if you fully understand what you're stepping into, and I really like the sound of it, but the fact that they've only just made it 3-player, is like, oh, man, I really wish it had the 4-player Left 4 Dead thing right off the bat. But maybe it can't run that kind of thing, so that's all right. I can live with that. But you need, it's one of those games, just like with Left 4 Dead, where you can't just have a random. You know,
You
you
need
need
to
a buddy.
communicate.
You
Yes.
need a buddy to watch your back because you're trying to level this character up because you want that level 35 fucking healing potion because that will keep you alive when you take on that other boss that you haven't killed. Yeah, and you really want that one fucking item that will make that other fucking thing. And so, yeah, like if I was going to play it, just like with Red Dead, I would have to stop playing anything else and just concentrate so you'd understand.
It's
how
a
the monsters
real
work, the maps
experience.
work.
Like my first game, I went in solo. Like no teammates. I was like, my first game, I was going to go in there.
Yeah.
And I've never felt so on edge playing a game in so long, especially like a horror game.
Yeah.
Like where I'm like, I have no idea what this boss creature is that I'm hunting. All I know is it's a spider. You know, and I've got a clue, and I've got a second clue, and I've got a third clue, and now the game's like, you've narrowed it down where it is. It's like, you know it's in this barn.
Yeah.
You go in there, and there's spider webs everywhere, but then because of the sound is so well designed, and all you can hear is of all of the legs across the floors and ceilings, and you don't see it, and then it scuttles right past you, and you've got single bolt action fucking reload! I missed my shot!
I was going to get it until you said spiders. Now
now you're.
I know you said get the game.
Yeah, it's a real experience.
Spiders.
Obviously, by the time this
podcast,
podcast goes out, early September, the game's already on. It's out for sale.
Yeah.
The early access, if you can get it whilst it's still, half the price. It's definitely getting a high recommendation for me. It's the sort of game that I enjoy after, Friday the 13th and Dead by Daylight. It's small, intimate, big open map, but it's got that horror tension to it. It's a game that I want to put more time into anyway.
Yeah, see, there's a game that I figured you two would be playing because you two are always playing online anyway, and this is the kind of game where you'd be watching each other's back to keep each other alive.
Yes,
I have wanted to, but I've had to pay a big train ticket to come down and do it. I get it after we come back for the visit. That's when I'm intending to get it.
Yeah, the hunting aspect. If you're taking the time and you know where the creature is.
Yeah.
And you're just going to move
Gary
slow.
just wants me to hold his hand.
I'm so scared.
You always need you.
I'm so startled.
Yeah.
So startled.
And of course, I've been playing a hell of a lot of Civ 5 recently.
I've
been playing solo games. I've been playing with Dan. I've been playing with Big Head. I've been playing with Jeff as well. I've been playing with everybody all at once.
Yeah.
Lots of large maps and huge maps, which actually caused our PCs to struggle a little bit.
Yeah. Lots of war. It's always a timer for when you decide.
I don't always intend to go to war.
You declare war within 50 turns every time.
But I don't intend to do
it. It's because he's maneuvered
so aggressive.
It's because he's maneuvered himself into a position that he knows that when he goes to war, he's going to win.
Yeah.
So you know that. If you're game with Gary, you know that he is playing to win. So there's going to be a point where he's just like, I'm not being aggressive. I'm not being aggressive. Bam!
I assume he's playing
cultural
Civ.
victories.
Oh yeah.
Shut up. I assume he's playing for war. He has said many times, war. Yeah. I love war. I can't wait for war. Yeah. When we warring, we're going for a science fiction this time, Gary. But war. Yesterday, he went to war with someone because he said, don't settle near my city. He gave him a turn and went, fuck it, war. How dare you come near me? And that was it.
I had elephants of war.
Would you consider it griefing?
What, against the...
some of his war effort? Because I would, yeah. No.
I would be concerned if he ran for power. I would, definitely. I wouldn't elect him.
We come in peace.
No, I wouldn't elect him.
Build me an army worthy of Mordor. I've also returned to Left 4 Dead 2 as well. I'm not playing it on expert. I've done and dusted the Left 4 Dead on expert, but now I'm just playing it kind of casually on advanced, just for fun.
Helping others
get through the nightmare. Still such a good game though.
It's an amazing game. I got a copy of it off our friend Adrian and a spare Xbox One joypad, so I got to play Left 4 Dead 1 and Left 4 Dead 2 with Dylan.
Nice.
And no.
Like
I killed everything and Dylan was shooting everything, but every now and again he's like, Dad, look at this, and I'm like, what?
Does he not get the survival part?
Dude, he totally gets it, but to him it's a game. He's just there to have fun.
And do you
and to me I'm like, we're playing Left 4 Dead, Left 4 Dead 2.
This is not a game, son.
He even said like, Dad, I can't play it online because every time I join a team I get kicked. I'm like, yeah. Because there are teams out there trying to obviously get achievements and work their through the campaign, and here you come looking at the box in the corner like, what gun do I take?
He's still carrying Noam Chomsky.
Yeah.
Trying to take it to the fun game.
Yeah.
But other than playing video games, I've been playing Arkham Horror the card game. And of course, the Circle Undone is the most recent cycle that's just completed. And we've led our investigators through this Lovecraftian nightmare. This is the fourth complete cycle. Yeah. And this time we were up against Azathoth. And if any of you out there are familiar with Lovecraft, Azathoth is the ancient god that he's in slumber. And so all the known universe is in his dream. So should he wake up, the known universe would cease to exist.
Oh, yeah, I know that guy.
That motherfucker woke up. We couldn't keep him asleep. So the entire universe wiped out, and it was a few millennia before he went back to sleep and a new Big Bang occurred. Yes. So it was a horrible defeat, but it was a fantastic playthrough. We enjoyed our characters, the nightmare. Great game. Absolutely great game.
No, sounds familiar.
Yeah. It happens a lot in Arkham. I'm just like...
Yeah, you get to the finale and it's just... kicks you in the ass.
Yeah, you get to a point in the game where people go, we can't win this, and you're like, right, okay, we'll stop then. Because the game is just fucking...
I didn't get to that point in our campaign. I thought, yeah, we can win this, and the game went, no, hold my beer. And then cleric us to death.
Yeah.
But going to television, I don't know if I mentioned a few podcasts ago that I was excited for a TV show called Night Flyers.
Right.
And this was a sci-fi adaptation of George R.R. Martin's books.
Oh, yeah.
It was fucking awful. I'm like, is this George R.'s writing? Is it? No, it's the cast. It was the acting. No, wait, it's the camera work. It's just so still. It's got no life to it. No, wait, it's the editing. It's the all of it. All of it was just terrible.
Right.
I tried. I really tried because the trailer for it was like, this is, if you enjoyed The Expanse and all those other sci-fi shows, you're going to get into this one.
Yeah.
Fuck no. Abandon all hope.
Yeah, but it was written by the guy who did Game of Thrones,
Well, Game of Thrones books are still pretty popular. The TV series is probably... The TV series, from what I've gathered, is rekindled interest in the books because people want something better than what they were given.
Yeah.
Don't finish the books.
No, don't finish the TV series.
The books have got to be finished first.
No, don't watch Night Flyers either.
Don't watch Night Flyers, fuck no.
Yeah.
Another TV show that I was kind of interested in.
Oh.
Another Life. I barely made it past the first episode. And this wasn't as awful as Night Flyers, but almost as awful. But even this stars Kate Sackhoff. That's Starbuck.
Yeah, Starbuck.
From Battlestar Galactica Reimagined.
Halloween Resurrection.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah, she's not got the best track record of appearances.
Yeah, this trailer, I mean, when I saw this trailer on Netflix, I was like, okay, Katie Sackhoff in a new sci-fi TV series where she's trying to save the universe from some big bad aliens. I could get into this, but I'm not really watching TV shows like that. So I said to the wife, hey, this looks good. And I think she was like you. I think she may have watched one episode or two.
Yeah.
I know she hasn't carried on watching anymore.
I'm not returning to it either. It was tedious. I mean, I realised 20 minutes into it, I was on my phone. I was just like, oh, this is a good sign for a show. I've lost interest already.
20 minutes into this podcast, you're on your phone.
Ian's talking again.
Fuck you.
Another 5 minutes of this run.
So after some terrible fucking television,
nice.
Amazon finally. I mean, I mentioned this 2 months ago. That I was excited for this.
Yeah.
After Preacher's ending.
Yeah.
The Boys.
The Boys drop.
Oh my god! I think The Boys season 1 might be my number 1 pick for the best form of entertainment of 2019. Hands down, blew my fucking socks off. I was expecting good. What I got was almost perfection. I'm one of those that kind of almost burnt out on the superhero genre. After Avengers Endgame, I was just like, I'm kind of done. Like, I don't need any more superheroes. I saw the new Spider-Man film, and I was like, you know what? That almost serves as a good ending to like the one after Endgame, where it just kind of all those things, because Endgame, the big ending, Spider-Man kind of just like brings it all back down and it ties everything over. So I'm like, I'm kind of done. But The Boys, was not expecting it to be as good as it is. It's from creator Eric Kripke. I'm a big fan of.
Kripke's Basement.
Supernatural, first 5 seasons he created that show. And he's working with Evan Goldberg and Seth Rogen. Obviously they've been working on the Preacher series. Because I'm a massive fan of Seth Rogen. There are some things he's done that I'm just like, no. But after what he had done with The Preacher and now what he's done with The Boys, I'm just like, this guy really knows his stuff.
Mate, there's nothing Seth Rogen's done that isn't good.
Grown-ups.
No, Grown Ups.
Grown-ups is fucking awful.
Is it? No, that was Adam Sandler.
Yes, and Seth Rogen's in it.
Well, yeah, but that's Adam Sandler's fucking thing. I mean, we're talking what?
Okay, something that Seth Rogen's done by himself.
40-year-old virgin, fucking, Knocked Up, fucking Superbad, fucking
Superbad.
Yeah, well, I didn't enjoy it the first time, but as Seth Rogen has just been given the chance to write and do what he wants to do, work his fucking shit.
Yeah.
I look back and I go, right, look at the rest of his career. It's not really that bad. He's actually working quite hard within his realm. He for a while I really thought Seth Rogen was just literally just going to be the background comedian because that's how he was in a lot of the comedies. Then I realized he was writing them, and he was doing a lot of work behind the scenes. That's why Superbad's so good, because it's his, but it's not him. You get what I mean? It's fucking Jonah Hill.
Yeah,
and it's kind of like a team fucking the new American.
No, fan of Jonah Hill.
Oh man, I want to see his mid-90s. That looks good. He
irritates me so much.
I like Jonah Hill. After was it Wolf of Wall Street?
Oh man,
I really enjoy him in that.
Sold on him.
Yeah,
that's the one exception. I love Wolf of Wall Street.
No,
he's brilliant in that.
His lesser comedy
was he in
stuff.
21 Jump Street?
Yes.
I liked him in that as well. Yeah,
he's okay. Okay.
The Boys had to be fucking good. I remember reading the comic book and thinking, there's no way you'll get this on screen. And then seeing Watchmen go to film, and I'm like, well, if you can do that, you can do The Boys.
If they've done The Preacher, then they can do
The Boys. Well, that's it. But they had to do shit like The Preacher as a TV series to go, right, let's see what other comics we can make into TV series.
Yeah.
I've only seen snippets of The Boys. I've wanted to watch it, but I'm like, I'm good. I'll hang out. You guys all have your little play. I'll be over here on my own.
Oh, damn.
But fucking Carl Urban.
Yes.
I mean, how many times do you have to tell people that Carl Urban is fucking awesome?
Carl Urban just makes everything awesome just by being in
it.
He's one of my favourite parts about the rebooted Star Trek.
Oh man, he was fucking amazing in Dredd.
Yes, hell yes,
Dredd was awesome. And the fact that he's playing like the main guy, the fucking head guy of The Boys.
Yeah, he's playing Billy Butcher.
Billy Butcher. And Billy Butcher is obviously such a focal character in the comic book as well.
Yeah.
All the other characters kind of, build themselves up around Billy.
Yeah.
Billy's got a history. He's got all the fucking superheroes these ones to fucking take down. That character had to be... Well,
Well, I mean, the story is, Billy Butcher's story kind of overrides the main story after a while. The Boys TV series introduces you into the world through a different character, and once that character's kind of story is kind of over, it's Butcher's story. That's the main part.
As a TV series, obviously they've got to change certain things.
They have.
So I've only seen certain clips because I'm like, if it's anything like the comic books, I know how it's going to run. So I'm
nothing
good.
like the. Well, I mean, by the season 1 ending. And it is one hell of a cliffhanger. You're just kind of like, well, they've totally changed the comics now.
Yeah. That's what I realised. But that's why I'm going to wait until it's all good. But I watched the fight between Translucent Man, Billy Butcher, and what's his face,
the main character, Huey.
And I just watched that sequence. The fucking camera work and the fucking effects was film quality.
Yeah, every episode is film quality.
Fucking, this is fucking film quality, but. In your mind, you structure it like this has to be kept in a TV episodic kind of adventure. But then the language, fucking Carl Urban's delivery of like just spoilers, spitting the blood and be like, meh. And then the rest of the fight, the music, I was like, yeah, I can watch that. I can watch that.
I've never heard of this before. You mention it now, but I know what I will be watching the rest of this week as we're going to
now
after the end of the day. But I read a book very similar to this by Brandon Sanderson. It's the exact same thing, and even the group is called the Vigilantes.
Yeah, the setup is if you still don't know what it is about a group of vigilantes that are taking down corrupt superheroes that abuse their superpowers. Yeah. So imagine. It is more like the DC, heroes have become villains. You've got your Wonder Woman, your Superman, your Batman, the Invisible Man, and Aquaman.
Yeah.
But they're all douches. They are all two-faced, conniving, backstabbing, sold-out, soulless assholes.
Rapist, pedophilia,
and they are
fucking
all owned
psychopaths.
by a company
Yeah.
that makes movies on them and sells them to the public as these, figureheads.
Yeah.
But in the opening episode, the Flash character is on drugs and he's running so fast he runs through someone and liquidates them.
Yeah.
That is your setup. It's like they are superheroes in the real world kind of thing. Now, one of the major things that kept me interested in it as well, I mean, I was already sold on it, but it was the actor playing Homelander. You had to have someone in, that's the Superman.
Yeah.
You had to have someone who was going to sell that icon of a character. And I didn't even realise it until I was halfway through the season that it was Anthony Starr that was playing the role. And I was like, he looks different, but I know that face. And, I've mentioned on the show many times before, one of my favourite TV shows, 5 seasons of, was Banshee.
Yeah. And
it's the main actor from Banshee is playing Homelander. And I was like, oh my fucking God, mind blown. Like, I'm so glad this actor is still getting work. And now he's in such a fantastic role that I'm sure there's going to be at least another 4 years of The Boys TV series.
Oh, totally. The fan base behind The Boys now is just going to... the season 2 is going to be bigger and badder.
It's anti-superhero in a superhero-dominated kind of.
But they've also got to be careful
decade.
not to push the envelope too much that they don't get a season 3 with the film TV fucking gods out there going, oh, no, look what you did, and that was a little bit too much.
From what I've gathered, Amazon have almost doubled their budget going forward because of the success of the first season.
You can throw as much money as you want. As soon as the public outcry turns around and says we don't want this being shown, it becomes difficult to watch it. It depends on also how they go with their stories,
Yeah.
Like I said, the comic book story, it's there and it's really, really good, and so that's why they got a TV series. Once they change it and they start doing something else, like I said, I've only seen certain clips and I'm like, oh, that's walking a line there, mate. Walking a line.
Yeah. I think they've been pretty tasteful though with what they've shown and what they haven't, in comparison to the graphic imagery that you do get in the comic.
Yeah, fucking, Carl Urban saying cunt. Tasteful, yeah.
But also one of the other, I mean, this one is bidding for almost first place next to The Boys as well.
Oh yeah.
And that is over to Netflix now with Mindhunter season 2. I've waited 2 years for the follow-up season, and it didn't disappoint. Of course, it's based on the books by John Douglas. It's created by Joe Penhall, and it's executive produced by David Fincher. And the show is basically about FBI agents, in the early 80s, basically coining the phrase serial killer and going around to all of these prisons and interviewing celebrity, famous kind of serial killers and getting profiles and using them kind of Silence of the Lambs style, using their insight to be able to catch serial killers that are out actively killing people.
Yeah.
Of course, with it being, David Fincher, and with Netflix just saying, here's the budget, you've got all the time you need to make this show, and Fincher doing it is dark as motherfucker. It is. But it's so character driven, and when another 60 minutes flashes before you, and you're like, that was so well written. It felt like 10 minutes had passed.
Yeah, but dude, you've just sat in a room and spoken to fucking Jeffrey Dahmer and fucking Charles Manson, listening how how they would murder and kill fucking men, women, and children,
it is frightening,
and how they can help now fucking find this
fascinating.
motherfucker. I'm like, I mean, obviously, I know what happens, and they've made this great TV series, but I'm like, you know what? Like the dark corners of the earth, but I'm not ready to go there just yet, Charles.
It is phenomenally well acted. It is kind of edge of your seat entertainment where you just you want them to catch the serial killer. You want to go and see their interviews and find out about these murders and how they did it, why they did it. It's just so insightful and frightening at the same time.
Man, from the trailer, what was it? He's talking about that. The killer is like kidnapping children around this area,
right?
Yeah, and so it's just it's just a trailer I'm watching, and it's just on Netflix, and so it's just snippets of somebody watching children and these guys talking to the killers of how they're going to stop this guy from killing. And I was, like I said, I was like, no thanks, my Morphin Power Rangers, blink, thank you very much. But that's just what I got from the trailer, and knowing it's David Fincher.
Yeah. It is
true detective style.
It is addictive viewing. I've I literally burnt through season 2 in 2 days. I just could not stop watching. I took a break from editing, from writing. It was just like, I'm watching the show. I need to see it. I need to know if they catch this guy. You know, I'm like trying to stop myself from jumping onto Google to find out about the real killers.
I would have wicked it like Ian immediately.
Yeah,
but no, I've read up on certain serial killers. They've all got a kind of ego.
Yes,
you know, there's a massive ego behind it, and it's something I've always said is that's what always gets them caught.
Yeah,
every single one of them,
yes,
they fucking trip themselves up by going, haha, you can't catch me, and they get fucking caught.
They get upset when somebody else tries to take, you know, the credit for their killings, and that's when they fuck up.
And but at the same time, the reason why they also fuck up is how many they go through.
Get greedy.
They get greedy, and once you start getting into your double figures of killings, not that I'm saying I'm a fucking psychopath, you know, but you know, once
you children,
once you read it, man, I would happily be a complete psychopath, but it's so much work. I mean, do you know how deep a fucking shallow grave is?
No, I don't.
How heavy a fucking shovels are out in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Do you know how heavy a dead body is as well?
The body, the lime, the fucking petrol. It's like, no, just can't be fucked.
Bribes for the
you know, just, yeah. But, yeah, when I saw that trailer, and then he said he was watching it, I was just like, yeah, of course he was.
I'm literally going to be refreshing the page every day now until season 3 drops.
Did you? I mean, I don't know if you've got it to talk about, but I just want to bring up now. Did you see the trailer for AHS 80s?
American Horror Story?
80s?
I mean, I'm anything American Horror Story related.
Man, that fucking trailer was fucking just... I was just like, this can't be real. You know, after like the last few years, they've all been really quite serious, and this just looks like a parody, but then also looks American Horror Story-esque. That I'm like,
American Horror Story kind of each season kind of has its ups and downs, and the last season ended in such a way that I was just like, bravo, standing ovation. Like, you've managed to call back all previous 7 seasons into this one.
Yeah.
And you know, and it gave me a continuation of characters that I never thought I would see again, because it was an anthology show. Every season it was like totally unrelated, unrelated, and then you're like, but there's a few loose connections, and then
what was
all those connections get tied together, and you're like, oh my god.
Yeah.
So I'm sold.
Yeah, you're sold on it. Yeah,
hell yeah. So Ian, what have you been up to last month?
Man, not really much. Well, I mean, this last month actually, I've been on summer holidays, so I've had 4 weeks off from my job because I work term time in my work. But weirdly enough, as soon as I stopped working one job, I work more in the other job. So it was literally over here, you know, fucking Halloween specials. Watched a lot of Netflix recently. I found a category. They made a category for me, films from the 1980s. So I was just like, oh, okay.
Not fun.
Yeah, but obviously I grew up then, and there was a lot of films that I watched from the video shops then, and I'm like, seeing. Oh, I haven't seen that, so I've been watching a lot of weird sci-fi 1980 horror movies. I've broken my 103 days.
That's
challenges
what you've been doing.
on Red Dead Redemption.
We knew it was going to be Red Dead.
And, you know,
I can't believe it's been 28 minutes into the podcast before you mentioned Red Dead Redemption.
Oh, I always talked about it when you were talking about hunting. I had this whole hunting speech going on. Man, it works really well because, like, I've averaged to about 2 hours average a gaming time a day. Right. With everything else I've got to fucking do.
Just imagine all the real games you could have played in that time.
So you can't. You know, you can't really play games for probably 2 hours. You know, not really deep ones that you've not played before. But I'm at such a level now in Red Dead, I'm just like, bang, 7 o'clock, challenges out, I get it completely structured, comboed in my head. It's like, you know, it's like exercise in the morning. I got my cup of tea, my plan.
Has it yet felt like a second job? Because when I see daily challenges
because it's a gaming
way of
because
you to come back, it feels like a second job.
It's structured in my mind as a game. If I stop playing Red Dead, I'm just going to stick another game in its place.
Yeah.
You know, I'm literally just going to go from one game to another.
But you said to me when you got to your 96-day streak that you were feeling a bit burnt out. And Linda said to you, "Oh, close are you at 96?" She goes, "Well, you might as well go to 100." And that felt like, well, I'm just doing it to get to the 100.
Well,
even you sounded fed up.
Because that was always my plan. But at the same time, I could always just stop tomorrow. Like tomorrow, I could easily just go, I'm not even turning the Xbox on, and watch the whole thing just reset. My character's still got his level. I've still got all my weapons. I've still got all my money. But because I get all the bonuses, because I get the gold, because I get the money, and I'm saving up because obviously a new patch is going to drop at some point.
Yeah,
Rockstar are going to drop it with content.
Yeah.
And so I'm walking in there at the moment with almost $900 and 56 gold bars. I've already got the 850 horse, the top horse. I've got all the guns that I fucking need. I've got my one issue, I will admit, I've got, and it's coming back from after playing GTA 5. I did it in GTA 5 as well. I have to, even though I don't wear it, I have to buy every limited edition piece of clothing that comes out. If a limited edition piece of clothing comes out, I'll buy it.
So bad,
I'll buy it, and I spend the gold that I've earned.
Yeah.
Because I
you sound like you just said I could quit any time. I'm like, that's the number one line of an addict. I can quit any time. I don't need to quit. I can do it tomorrow if I want.
At any time, but because I've got the money, what am I doing the money for? That's what I'm saying. Like when you're playing a game and you're earning all that experience, you're looking for something, aren't you? That big piece of armor, that huge weapon. You want to be able to hit that boss one hit and walk away and be like, he's fucking dead. Kind of like me. I wanted to walk into deathmatch with explosive rounds and be like, bang, 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 bang. Now I can go for the marker.
I go into it because I want to go in there and feel like I've experienced everything that game's got to offer. And I feel you can go into Red Dead and experience that within 30 minutes because it's not got a lot to offer.
No. But for me, like I said, because I've got such a structured time,
right?
Only 2 hours, and because my life really does revolve around working, so I don't really climb mountains or go hunting and fishing. 7 o'clock in the morning with a cup of tea, and the challenge pops up and it goes, catch 5 fish. I really enjoy those mornings, sitting next to the river.
You know,
sun shining.
When you say things like that, and I'm just like, you definitely sound like a middle-aged dad.
Yeah,
it feels like a middle-aged dad thing to do.
Because in 2 hours' time, my son's going to come downstairs. He's going to want me to play Minecraft. The wife's going to want me to do this. I'm going to have to go to work and do all that. And I want to
there's no pressure.
Yeah, because later on, I do want to come back and buy that extra gun so I can shoot that guy back in the face when I find that motherfucker fucking
griefed me. Right?
Is the Xbox set up in the garage as well, so where you can really hide from the family for those 2 hours?
No. It's all set up with the computer. Well, in my dining room, so I do wake up and just go float right downstairs. But I am building up. I am building up to battle mode on fucking Doom Eternal. Have you seen that video footage of battle mode? Oh my god!
I was gonna get it and then Gary ruined it for me.
The snap map is not in the latest Doom game.
And I'm not getting it now.
Like that's really upset me.
That's fine. Don't buy snap map. Have you seen battle mode?
Yeah, I've seen battle mode. It's
no, because I don't watch trailers. I don't watch trailers.
Basically, it's like one Doomslayer armed to the fucking teeth, right? And then you've got your 2 monsters, 2 demons coming in. Right. Your Cacodemon, your Revenant, or your Hell Knight, whatever. They've got powers and they can spawn like zombies and shit. Because the Doom guy utilizes the spawns to refill his energy if he can, and they try to use it to outnumber you. So it's 1-on-2 combat. And I'm like, so fucking excited for that shit. Like, if you die, you die. You were taking on 2 demons and they overpowered you. You win, you're ripping the arms off a fucking Revenant and you're like, yeah, baby, yeah. So my plan is, obviously, from November 22nd, I'll be waking up, knocking out one challenge, keeping the streak going, jumping straight onto Doom, and then playing Doom and being like, who's got the hooks in now, motherfucker? Blah, 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 blah.
You're still going to do one challenge. That's the hooks.
Keep the streak. Keep that streak.
That's the hooks right there. Keep the streak.
I want to see how high that number goes up. I want to see how high. It says 103 over 28 at the moment. What happens if it says 365 over 28? That'd be a nice number.
No.
Yeah, man. 360.
It's only nice to you, Ian.
Yeah.
420.
Doesn't mean anything.
420.
If I saw 365 over 28 for challenges done every day, I just go, that's a bit sad.
That's fine. You go play your other game. It's fine.
Other games.
You go play your other games.
Lots of different things.
I'll be on the prairie.
I'll go have fun.
I get fun shooting ducks.
Ducks, fishing.
But saying that, when I walk down the streets now, I do go like this to birds. No.
I always did it in my head, mentally, lasers from my eyes.
So, Dan, would you like to share any recent games or TV shows or films that have impressed you?
Mostly games I've been playing. Been playing Civ 5 a lot with you. We've had good fun with that. I've recently gone back and replayed Deus Ex Mankind Divided.
Very good. Which one was that one?
That was
the first of the relaunch?
No, it's the second one of the remakes. It came out in about 2016. Okay. And Human Revolution was the first one, which came out in 2011.
Yeah, that's the one I tried to play.
And, I mean, it panned, really. It wasn't a critical success, and they've put the third one, because it was originally meant to be a trilogy, and it's been permanently put on ice, which upsets me no end, because the story is set up for that final trilogy, and you want to go in and finish it off.
I always wanted to play these games because they always look really in depth and the world looked great, but I
love them because they literally give you have about 6 or 7 different options to do things, and there are 6 or 7 different ways you can do it. It doesn't matter which build you've gone into, there is a way around to do every option. You can do it if you look, and I always like to reverse engineer after going and do an area, and then go and look like, I could have done it this way. I could have done it that way.
Stealthing,
if I'd have gone into that, if I'd have got that augmentation, I could have done that one as well.
But the 2011 game, I heard, obviously it was ruined because you couldn't take out the bosses stealthily.
Yes. So I did do this originally. I went on hard, and I went for the I'm not going to sound an alarm achievement. I'm not going to kill anybody achievement. But you have to kill the bosses, and if you go in those, you're not taking the aggressive augmentation. So your battle prowess is not there really, and it made the bosses really hard unless you went. It was generally just you went in, you used your Typhoon ammo, and you went invisible, and you just had to spam that and sort of cheese the bosses. That was the only way you could do it. In this one, they have made it so bosses, there is a non-violent way to deal with all bosses.
Like Dishonored.
Exactly like it. And after watching the Cyberpunk announcement at E3, it made me want to go into that sort of steampunk world, which Deus Ex, that is that game. And I think if they had made a third one and released it a month after Cyberpunk's out, everyone that's going to bought Cyberpunk after the hype and loved it, they would have bought Deus Ex because it's so similar. It's set in a very similar type world. I've enjoyed playing through it again.
Nice.
Really enjoyed that.
Very good,
Film-wise, I did fulfill a promise to Ian today. He's been getting on to me to watch
to expand your film knowledge just a little bit.
I'm not a big film guy. I'm more into the gaming side of things. But I watched the Thing today. And
John Carpenter.
John Carpenter's The Thing.
It wasn't my thing, put it that way.
Have you seen the prequel? The 2011 one. Have you seen the 2011 one?
No, but I had the option on the 2, and I thought it was a remake.
Right.
And I thought if I watch that, Ian's going to be pissed at me because it's probably an inferior version. It's not the original one.
You know what?
I know Gary said you like to watch that one first and then the thing after.
I reckon you would like the 2011 one.
Maybe.
Because you don't like the 1982 John Carpenter one.
I didn't enjoy it. It wasn't for me. And that's me being as political as possible to not upset people.
Dan, I love you, man, but when you badmouth John Carpenter's The Thing...
Wait, no, we're in a diplomatic, so let's talk this out like a joke.
I get fucking offended.
What was it?
Adam Sandler's an acting genius.
What was it in the thing? What was in the thing that was missing that you didn't enjoy? I mean,
it took an hour. It felt like for the film to get going.
Suspense build up.
Yeah, it just felt like there was nothing really happening.
But nothing does happen
in the first 15 minutes. I was laughing. The scene when the Swedish guy gets the grenade and goes like that. And it lands in the snow.
Right, okay, I'm not seeing any bad points here. What are you talking
about? I was like, this is terrible. And I was already sort of out of it. The only real scene that I sort of really enjoyed and felt invested in is when he got them all tied up and he's testing the blood samples. I was like, right, who is it? Because I've got it in my head who I think it is. Yeah. But everything else, it just sort of felt predictable, and I sort of know how this is going to go. I don't think anyone's going to get out. I think it's all going to be just burned and set on fire.
You heard it here first, people. He doesn't like The Thing. So obviously, if you don't like anything that he says from now on throughout the rest of the podcast, that's cool. That's cool. He doesn't know what he's talking about anyway.
Yeah. But you put Red Dead Redemption as your top RPG. So man, you can't talk about games either.
Man, I played a lot of RPGs, you know.
I can't wait till you do your top racing game as well, and you're going to put Red Dead Redemption because it's got a racing and a beat 'em up as well. You beat that one
days ago, right? I just completely all I had to do was just win this race. I did just play a race. I didn't have to win it. So I literally cut out the race, ran to the end because I knew where the end was, picked up a load of pistols and sat there shooting people. And one of the posse members was in the race. I was trying to make him first. And as everyone come running up, I didn't know who it was, so I shot him twice in the head, and he went like.
I don't believe you didn't know which one he was. I fully believe that you went, "Oh, that's Brinsley." Bam. Yeah. I definitely believe that.
And I have two things I just want to pull up of things that I've watched recently. I've got to say the story. Like Dylan watched all of Stranger Things.
Wow.
Right. Linda, we had some family down, and so he was sleeping up in the bedroom with us. And when he because obviously he was going to bed early, we were staying up, and he needed something to watch. So Linda was just like, "Yeah, I'm going to put Stranger Things on." And what really surprised me. I haven't properly watched it. Haven't had time. But the tagline for season 3 was anything can happen in a summer.
Right.
One summer can change it all. And I felt like that was the turning point for Dylan with TV.
Right.
Because he binge watched season 1 of Stranger Things, season 2 of Stranger Things, binge watched season 3. I was there for the final episode of season 3 while he was watching it in the front room and I was tidying up. And I got to admit, just like I said with the boys, the effects, the camera work, everything for that final episode was
like film.
Like
yeah.
I walk around my house now singing The Never Ending Story, and Linda and Dylan will kick in every now and again. I'm like, didn't even watch it. But the wife yesterday bought Hellboy, the new one, on DVD.
I think that film is going to disappear from history.
Man.
And his house.
Yes.
Like, I don't know anybody who's actually made their way all the way through it and maybe enjoyed it. Like, I was completely put off immediately because it wasn't Ron Perlman.
The thing.
Damn.
Why don't you say,
I'm
why don't you say that louder, Nella?
I'm taking that
Yeah,
back.
you taking that back, motherfucker. The fact that they took away Del Toro, the fact they took away Perlman, the fact that they tried to reboot it, basically.
Yeah.
The fact they put Alice from Resident Evil in it, and the fact that we got a trailer that everybody kicked off at, and then we got a Red Band trailer which was supposed to try to make it better, and then I wikied it, and as soon as the wife showed me this DVD, I was like, "You're watching that on your own."
Yeah, it's a hard pass.
Yes, let's just say she wasn't keen, and I made her put it on the shelf and went, "You bought that."
For a little post-it note.
Shall we get into the news?
Yes.
Well, as we do with the podcast, we do the bad news first.
We do the bad news first. We always do the bad news first.
We lost a legend over the last couple of months.
Yeah.
And that was Rutger Hauer. He's passed away at the age of 75.
Hauer or Hoyer?
Hauer.
Right. Sorry,
Yeah.
just checking the word.
I know, sometimes the pronunciation of it. Rutger Hauer.
Rob Schneider. Yeah.
The one from Jaws, right?
The one guy from, yeah, that guy. The animal.
Of course, known mainly for me from Blade Runner,
Yes.
1982. Loved him in The Hitcher, 1986. Lady Hawk,
Yep.
1985. Lady Hawk's actually one of our most requested reviews, actually. Blind Fury, which I've always loved, from 1989. Split Second.
Oh god, I love Split Second.
1992.
So
Hobo with a Shotgun. 2011. Buffy the Vampire Slayer,
That's
the movie.
such a terrible movie, but he's
1992.
great in it.
He is great in it.
I
Yeah.
didn't realise it was a movie.
Donald
Kirsty
Sutherland,
Swanson, Donald Sutherland.
I just thought it was the TV series.
Man,
I
the
watched
film-
all
It was a
that.
failed movie before the
The film
series.
is terrible. Yeah.
I'm not going to go watch it.
Man, Rutger Hauer. When I read that he died, I was just like, man. Like, how bad can the world be that you have to take Rutger Hauer from me as well?
Yeah, it's pretty
know?
devastating.
Yeah.
But what makes it worse is that when you go to watch the film again, you know that they passed away. So instantly the films become classics. You know, like, there's always been
Is that the definition for classics then? Someone in the films died?
No, but if you're a fan of somebody and they're not going to make any more films,
Right.
and you, like, you just know that all you've now got of that person's life is self-contained in these films. Yeah, for me, it becomes a personal classic. Like, there's a film called Wedlock with Rutger Hauer. I've never seen it. All I know is on the poster, it's his head, and he's got a collar, and he's married, and he's in prison. And I think the collars may explode, you know, kind of Fortress style.
Yeah.
I've only ever seen that poster. Like, I saw it in my local video store when I was younger. I've seen it spotted around. Never watched the film. But it's got Rutger Hauer in there. I want to watch it now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I was almost overwhelmed as well by the outpour of fans that he had. I never realised he was as popular as he really was.
I totally, dude. He's like you said, looking at half the list that you set off there.
Yeah,
they're all classic. His portrayal in The Hitcher.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't remember him from that, then you definitely remember him from Blade Runner.
Yeah.
You know,
I think that's where almost everyone knows him from. Other than Lady Hawk, I didn't really think he had much appeal outside of those films.
Lady Hawk's good.
Lady Hawk is okay. Like he
okay.
is amazing in it, but the rest of the film is ropey.
Right, it's Matthew Broderick.
Yeah, I can't stand that idiot. There's only one Matthew Broderick film that I don't mind.
What's that?
That's Cable Guy. Because I like Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
And Jim Carrey and Matthew Broderick actually work as a double.
Cable Guy.
You know, the straight man with the insane man.
Fair enough.
Oh man.
Yeah.
But much love to Rocket Horror.
Hell yeah, much love. We also lost another acting legend in Peter Fonda. Passed away at the age of 79. You know, mostly known for me from Easy Rider, 1969. He was in 310 to Yuma, the
Amazing
2007 version. Race with the Devil, 1975. I think that's another very popular one. Mm-hmm. That's the film my dad always loves.
Man, Escape from LA.
Escape from
surfing
LA.
Scene, I love that.
The Boondock Saints, 2009 as well. But yeah, another legend.
And it's amazing that he lasted that long. He did a
lot of drugs.
A lot of drugs. You know,
he lived.
I mean, he was married to Jane Fonda, and he fathered Bridget Fonda.
Yes,
yeah, that's a fucking.
There is a dynasty of Fonda, the Fonda family.
The Fonda family.
Yeah,
but Easy Rider. I remember, like, we just moved into the old house years and years and years and years ago. And you would invite me up to your dad's for a roast dinner, and we started going up there, and I started looking in his dad's DVD collection because, you know, I needed new films, and one of these films was Easy Rider, and I'd never seen it, and I took it home, and oh my fucking god, it was like a turning point experience, like
just in film knowledge, just experience,
just in film knowledge and film experience. Everybody talks about, you know, greatest films of all time.
Easy Rider's up there.
Easy
for
Rider
a lot of people.
It's
like a movement. It was like a cultural fucking.
It's like a documentary. You know, it's like guerrilla-esque.
The original film was like 30 hours long. The editor was just like, no, just keep it.
They actually pop acid at one point and walk around a graveyard and film it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But they were just like, put it all in there,
man.
Because
that's the 69. They're like, what should we do today? Want some acid?
Right. Yeah. Let's film it.
Yeah. So.
Well, make a movie.
Peter Fonda, man.
Fair enough.
So moving into the next bit of film news, something more exciting.
Yeah.
Is that the next film in the Chronicles of Riddick saga, the script has now been completed and it's ready to shoot. According to Vin Diesel, with the title of Riddick 4 Furia, which, you know, Furia is the name of Riddick's
the planet,
home planet.
From, because he's a Furian.
Well, Vin is still working on Fast and Furious 9. Bloody, I can't believe they've gotten to the 9th movie already.
Yeah, because he needs the money to finance the next
Riddick film.
Because he's going to produce it as well.
Well, he's going to be working again with David Twohy, who obviously directed the 3 previous films in the series as well.
Oh, so he did Chronicles as well?
Yes.
So it will be a continuation,
It will be a continuation.
The story.
Now, what they've kind of said, I mean, Vin suggested years ago that it would be an origin story. But I don't know whether it's going to be an origin story or whether it's just going to go back there. From what I've gathered with other interviews with Vin Diesel is that, like, the first one was kind of a self-contained horror movie on a planet.
Yeah.
And the second one was a big, wide-open kind of space opera.
One, yeah.
Third one brought it all back down again. This fourth one, back into the open space opera again.
That would be... I really like that. I really like the second one. You know,
the second one's my favourite.
Yeah, the first one was really, really good, and I was just like, "This is a standalone horror movie in space. Love it." You know, don't really care much about the bold guy, but you know, it's just an action hero.
Yeah.
You know, Vin Diesel hadn't really done much. I don't even think Fast and Furious had come out at that point yet. Then obviously Fast and Furious started hitting. They bring out Chronicles of Riddick, and I'm like, I love this.
Yeah.
Easily why? Because Carl Urban's in it.
Right. Yeah.
Carl Urban's in it, and you get Carl Urban back for number 4, the film will be just as good. But the fact that the third movie I felt was just kind of rehash of the first one, like the story.
Yeah,
you know,
and Kate Sackhoff in it, didn't it?
Yeah, Kate Sackhoff as well. You know, the bounty hunters are going after Riddick, of course, of the guy from the first one, and on this planet, and oh no, it goes dark, and oh no, the creatures come out, and oh no, Riddick starts killing everything. And I'm like, where's the necromancers?
I didn't actually. I mean, I was a little bit disappointed that it wasn't the big space opera the second one was, but I still enjoyed Riddick more than Pitch Black because I liked him just trying to get away from everyone and bounty hunters trying to come and hunt him down. It was kind of like, I don't know, reverse Predator.
Yeah, I always liked the bounty hunter section from number 2. You know,
I didn't realise for a long time that there were sequels. I thought there were just different films.
Different films, well, I mean, there's no real continuation in each film. They are standalone films in that regard.
But when I meant set in that universe, I was completely unaware.
Wow.
I was told.
It's just Vin Diesel.
It's Vin Diesel. Yeah.
Did you play the Butcher Bay game as well? Because that's all.
No, but I've heard about that because it's supposed to be one of those games where it's actually better than the movie. It's supposed to be a movie game. It's supposed to be actually good.
I'd say it's on par. Yeah, because it's the same. The film writers wrote the script and pretty much gave it to the game developers and went, "This is the character."
Graphically, So they were like, "We want Vin Diesel's head in the game as well."
For me, that was like the point in time where I thought that games were going to be elevated more by the movie industry. That they would do a lot more kind of hand in hand stuff to build, game, TV, movie universes and have those shared universes where it's never really happened.
No.
Not many others.
We got our movie tie-in games.
Remedy tried a few years ago, and there was another one on Sci-Fi Channel that tried it with the video game TV series that was trying to coexist, and choices that happened in the game would impact the TV series. Defiance? Was it Defiance?
No, Defiance was a movie one, but the one you're thinking of, it was one of the Xbox One's release titles.
That's right, yeah. Was it Quantum Shift? No. I can't remember the name of it.
I can't remember either. It was something like that.
Yeah.
But again, it just
Quantum
sort of fell... Yeah, Quantum Break, that's it.
Yeah.
It fell pretty dead, really.
Yeah.
I don't know anyone that played it. I don't know anyone that watched it or paid attention.
No. So, I had the hopes that it would work, but it never really paid off.
Yeah. Interesting idea, but...
Yeah. So, excited for the next Riddick film. I just hope that it goes in development sooner rather than later. Speaking of also going into development, or having been recently in development hell, George Miller believes that more Mad Max movies are now on the way.
There's still gasoline in the outback.
The film series, there would have been another film soon after because it was massively successful.
If people hadn't fucking whinged about Charlize Theron and Tom Hardy not talking.
That wasn't the problem. The problem was that after the film released, there was a merger with Warner Brothers and AT&T.
Yeah.
So basically the rights with Mad Max ended up in litigation.
Yeah.
So that they literally couldn't make another film until that was resolved.
Yeah, they had to wait for the contracts and all that.
But now, according to Miller, all of that is now been resolved and they're clear. They've been given the green light to go ahead. And because there's been plenty of time, he's literally said that he's got 2 stories, both involving Mad Max, but also a Furiosa story as well, depending on where they want to go.
They've done the Furiosa story in the last one. They should just do Max again.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to not have Max as your main star, like you did with the last one. Furiosa was the main person and Max was just there. But have Max along for the ride.
According to Miller, Max is basically the audience. Like the audience, you get to be Max, and that is your eyes into the Mad Max universe.
Mad Max universe. You gotta. What made that last film really, really, really fucking good
was the action
sequences because they were real. He could have CGI'd it.
The only CGI thing was the desert, sound effects.
He could have CGI'd it, but it would have failed. The action sequences just took me back to Mad Max 2, and I'm like, I could watch that all over again. Yeah, alright, do I want to see Mel Gibson? Sometimes, but then again, let's get...
I miss Mel Gibson as Max. He is Mad Max to me.
Yeah, but remember Thunderdome, dude.
Yeah.
Okay, let's not start shouting the praise
I
to Mel
blame
Gibson.
Tina Turner for that one.
Yeah, let's blame everybody else except Mel Gibson, But that's what I'm saying, you could easily just have your racing cars, your fucking harpoons. I wait, because when you were talking about that, all I could think in my head was, that'd be really good. A Rage movie would be really good.
Yes.
And I was like, uh-oh.
Well, speaking about franchises coming out of retirement, Robocop was set to return, but now it's lost its director yet again.
Right.
This time, Neil Blomkamp has walked away from the project because it turns out that MGM wanted to start filming immediately. But Neil Blomkamp was like, look, I'm working on this and I'm working on that, then I'll get to your Robocop. And MGM were like, look, the script's ready, we're fucking going. Like, you in, you out, you in, you're out.
Yeah.
Ed Neumeyer and Michael Miner are the original script writers supervising the new script that's being written by Justin Rhodes. And it's set after the previous films in the franchise.
Oh, so he's lost his jetpack.
Okay. But the crime in Detroit has risen up again to the point where they bring Robocop. He's returning from somewhere. Maybe they send him to Florida.
Storage. They're gonna pull back a door and be like, plug in.
They get him a new battery, I don't know.
Yeah.
They turn him back on, they're like, we need Robocop. We need the old Robocop. Yeah. The new ones just ain't cutting it. Right? But so long as they go fucking hard R rating, bring me the violence, bring me the fucking gore.
I heard they were trying to go with the suit again.
No. Neil Blomkamp said that they were going with the old suit. It is Robocop Returns. It's not a remake Returns. It's back to the original franchise.
Don't get me wrong.
I was excited
I love
until Neil
RoboCop.
Blomkamp walked.
I love RoboCop, and people give me shit that I don't mind the fucking remake fucking movie, but that's because I don't like number 3.
Nobody does.
Yeah, I love number 2. I love RoboCop 2, and fucking don't even get me started on the fucking cum bucket that is fucking RoboCop 1. But when Neil Blomkamp was just like, I'm stepping away, I immediately started to think of how he was going to do it. I started to think Chappie style.
Yeah.
Guy in CGI suit. Johannesburg setting, Detroit kind of look. We're talking like urban warfare. But I thought, does that work for me? Does Neil Blomkamp's version of RoboCop work for me, or am I still waiting for that 80s? Because there's a in number 1 there's like an 80s feel to it. Because it's an 80s action movie, and I like that look of it. Where in the second one, the 90s feel, I don't like the look of it. It's just got more action.
Yeah.
So then with the remake, I know people fucking hate the remake. I was okay with it because it's set present day. I knew there was going to have to be CGI. I knew they were going to have to keep it connected to 21st century technology. Because like I said, 80s version had its feel, 90s version had its feel.
Yeah.
This one, 2019, you know what? Go for a fucking totalitarian state. Have Delta City exist.
Like the way they always envisioned it.
Yeah, like they always envisioned it.
But it's overrun with crime again.
No. Yeah.
Why would they need Robocop?
Because, spoilers, OCP, who run the city, are in charge of the crime. They want the people dead because
OCP runs the cops
blah, blah,
and the
blah
criminals.
Reason. They're going to try to shut down this police station because, it's the last police station on the whole block. Yeah. And lo and behold, this police station just happens to have Robocop in the basement, and they turn it on, and it's actually Peter Weller, because Peter Weller's been sat down in the basement this whole time waiting for his career.
I wonder where the actor's been.
They took him from they took him from Star Trek Into Darkness, realised it flopped, and just moved him into that basement.
I would love for Peter Weller to come back, but I don't think it's happening.
Yeah, I know. Well, he could be the voice of ED209.
I was excited for the Robocop remake when Darren Aronofsky was attached to be directing that one.
Ask Darren Aronofsky.
Yes, that's Darren Aronofsky. But Darren Aronofsky has a way of understanding the human soul, or the human spirit, or the human condition, however you want to look at it, especially with his films.
Man, I don't want to see that shit.
That makes it deep. And the fact that Robocop is almost an existential fucking crisis.
Dude, we're talking Lawnmower Man Robocop there.
Yes, I was super interested in watching a person who, for all intents and purposes, has died and has been revived and is put in a suit where the only thing that's left is your fucking head and your heart. Everything else has been replaced. Yeah. And then you start to have the memories of who you were, then realise that your life, that as you knew, is gone.
They managed to save the left
arm. I was just like, that there is like, try to imagine that is just scary to me. That scares the hell out of me.
It would not work. I mean,
I would have liked a movie that explored some of that.
Yeah,
it was never going to happen with Aronofsky.
That's Aaron Aronofsky doing his own Deus Ex Machina fucking style movie.
Yeah.
Robocop with dark feelings. Could you imagine Robocop sat in his chair and the music's playing? Like the music from Requiem, and he just turns his head.
The Paul Verhoeven kind of film, it touched on it just very lightly. Especially when he went back to his house and he kind of had that breakdown. Yeah. We ended up punching the TV and then
let's set an offer.
Love but it was satirical, and it was it was all those other things. It wasn't about that. But for me, it's it's just one of those things.
Who would you get to play the new Robocop? If put a face.
Carl Urban.
Yes, yes, Carl Urban. Yeah, so good. Yes.
Well, speaking about actors coming back to a familiar role, Star Wars is looking to bring back some of its fans.
Yeah.
With news that Ewan McGregor is coming back to play the role of Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Right.
And of course, this series is going to be exclusive to the Disney Plus service. There's been no real details about the show at all. Just that the rumor mill was correct this whole time, and that it is now official. He signed on the dotted line. He sold his soul to the mouse.
Yeah, he's still got to pay for his divorce, I think, after the whole Mary Elizabeth.
He's got to be one of my favourite actors within the Star Wars franchise. I mean, I love Ewan McGregor inside and outside of Star Wars. So
I mean, fucking Obi-Wan is his character. I mean, his uncle, he was related to Alec McGuinness, who played the original Obi-Wan.
I don't know if he was related in any way.
I'm pretty sure I read somewhere there was some kind of connection between him
and Alec cousin
somewhere with the role, and so that's why he was so excited to play Obi-Wan. But and they've used Obi-Wan's face for like all of the animations, like the Clone Wars series, the fucking Rebels series. You know, Obi-Wan looks like Ewan McGregor. Basically. Yeah, he could do it, but a Disney Plus service, like we were talking earlier about the Mandalorian being a fucking TV series. I thought that was a film. I was really excited about it being a film, and now everything's a TV series. I'm like, I don't watch TV.
Yeah.
I've
got no time. He's playing Red Dead.
I mean, but shit fails. Like shit fucking cancels. We get halfway through a Ewan McGregor Obi-Wan story. We know that motherfucker ain't gonna die until he gets onto that moon that looks like a space station.
So spoilers.
I hope they do more, because I mean, the Clone Wars animated series, they did a lot with that character.
Yeah.
And that character got some really great sequences in Star Wars Rebels, the animated series. Especially when it came down to the final confrontation with Darth Maul. There's some great moments to be had there.
Yeah, I suppose.
So depending on when and where this is set, because I doubt that it's going to be, Obi-Wan Kenobi sat on the planet waiting for Luke to turn up.
like 6 episodes
after season.
Well, actually, no. You know what would be good? The first season would be him establishing all of the outlying characters around the desert. No, I mean like any of the mob bosses in Mos Eisley that he might have to interfere with.
Right.
Yeah.
He has to fucking defend himself. There's probably a couple of families he has to defend from Tusken Raiders.
Hiding from the Empire, that's searching for all the remaining Jedi.
And I've recently been thinking that with the Star Wars series is ever since they finished the Skywalker story for me, once they killed Luke.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Once you start killing off family members, the Skywalker lineage was never the core thing for me. It was the universe. So Obi-Wan should be interacting with people. The series shouldn't be about Obi-Wan, if you know what I mean, because we know what he's going to do, but we don't know what this person's life is about, who's interacting with him, and that person and that person.
The other characters that he interacts with, the other, exactly. So expand the universe and explore it
and then
some
they
more.
turn up, they just turned up in the film, the newest fucking edition episode. Cause
I'll be curious, because I find it hard to believe that Obi-Wan could be the central character to a TV series. I think it needs to be an ensemble. I think it's it's going to make or break depending on the other characters around him.
If I was going to watch a TV series, though, I'd want it around Obi-Wan. I can't think of another character I would want it focused around.
Yeah, I mean, when Disney brought Star Wars, they were like, Han Solo movie, Obi-Wan movie, Chewbacca movie, fucking...
That's it.
R2-D2 the movie.
Because of the failure of Han Solo, they're like, we're not doing an Obi-Wan movie, we'll do a TV series.
That was the one I thought had the most promise, because of the actor already being there. It's established.
Yeah, but like I said, because you can't put those people in peril, is what I said about Han Solo. He's hanging on the side of his train and he's being shot at. Oh my god, I hope he doesn't die.
Well, Right.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
leave that.
Nostalgia is still running strong, because now we have a remake TV series of Event Horizon, which I'm still shocked that it's happening, but Amazon will be producing the Event Horizon TV series. Adam Wingard is set to produce this reimagined version. If you don't know who Adam Wingard is, he was the director of the Blair Witch 2016, but he's also the director of Godzilla vs. Kong, which is due out next year.
The 2016 one wasn't too bad, was it?
I didn't watch it.
I mean, I'm wicked. It's definitely better than Book of Shadows.
It's a found footage movie. I don't need to see a remake of that.
Godzilla fucking 20...
Godzilla vs. Kong 2020.
He's
He's directed that one at the moment.
Yeah.
He also directed The Guest 2014. He also directed the segment Tape 56 in the VHS anthology series.
Tape 56, is that the zombie one?
I think so.
The guy with the camera, GoPro cam.
But he's also he's going to be producing the show, but also returning is Larry Gordon and Lloyd Levin, who produced the original Event Horizon.
Nice.
They're returning to oversee the TV series adaptation. So I'm really excited for Event Horizon TV series, because I think with the TV series you can really get into the sci-fi. You can get into the characters and the stories and the nightmares for each character as the ship plays with them.
I was just thinking, because
like the potential
with the success of shit like American Horror Story, your Mindhunters, all the fact that people want to sit for an hour and be scared, and before they go to bed, and then lie there in bed like, oh shit, I've got to see what happens next. With Event, we've always said Event Horizon's a great film, even though it's great, by but
it just misses the point. It misses excellence. It's just
because it doesn't go too far into it. It's so quick towards the end.
It got cartoony at the end.
With all
especially with Cooper like jetpacking on an exploded ship going. Whoop!
Yeah, but that's because the film studios,
back to the Lewis and Clark.
The film studios didn't understand what the audience wanted. The audience wanted to understand what the hellish environment was that they were coming from. We wanted to see the nightmares. We wanted to be fucking scared. We don't want to see a guy fucking saving the day.
Yeah.
Now you can do that, but you don't have to do half the gory stuff that they did in the series and in the film. Like I always love those flashback images of the barbed wire wrapped around the people and the spikes coming out of them. That's just shit scary. But when he's in the air vent and he sees his wife with no eyes, that still fucking scares me more. Or when he says when the guy comes out the portal and he says like he saw the dark. If you could explore that a bit more, like 2 or 3 episodes of that fucking portal, I'd be like, turn it off, burn it now.
First episode, I just want to follow the original crew go.
Come back. No, because you need the Event Horizon to come back for the Lewis and Clark. But the end of the first season, the Lewis and Clark is blown up. Everyone's stuck on the Event Horizon. The Event Horizon's still in one piece, right? Spoilers. See, at the end will finish because a second ship turns up. And season 2 will be just an introduction of another crew with more nightmares.
It is Hellraiser in space.
And then they'll take the Event Horizon to the orbit of Earth as well for season 3.
And there's so much you can do with that.
The Doomslayer will turn up and it'll just go over you.
Your mind scares me.
Yeah, I told you, man. I told you.
Now here's something I never expected.
Yay!
What? Yeah. Kevin Smith is working on a new He-Man animated show.
Hells to you, yes.
Masters of the Universe Revelation is set to pick up right after the 1980s cartoon ended.
Before my time, never watched it.
Kevin Smith had this to say: I'm eternally grateful to Mattel, TV and Netflix for entrusting me not only with the secrets of Grayskull, but also their entire universe. In Revelation, we pick up right where the classic era left off to tell an epic tale of what may be the final battle between He-Man and Skeletor.
Yeah.
Brought to life with the most metal character designs powerhouse animation can contain in the frame. This is the Masters of the Universe story you always wanted to see as a kid. If you don't know who they are, they're the guys that did the relaunching of Castlevania animated series.
Right.
So they're the ones doing the He-Man
nice
animation.
Man, you're looking at just going to be He-Man running around punching shit. There's just going to be lots of... I've seen a lot of appearance of anime on Netflix recently. You know, they were dropping a few.
I've watched a lot of them.
Like, did you see? It was like Battlegun Asura.
No, I watched the Seven Deadly Sins one.
I was thinking about watching that one, but I watched it. It's
pretty good.
It was about, the one I was watching was like an underground fighting tournament, and these companies wage war against each other by hitting fire. It was brutal as fuck, and I could not stop watching the episodes. I completely binge watched the whole first season, like over 2 nights. I was sleeping in the front room and just binge watched it. Right. But seeing that the fact that He-Man's back, I don't know if anybody actually watched the remake in 2010. The remake He-Man and that.
Well, this is ignoring that one.
No, but yeah. But the fact that they tried to revitalize him back and tried to make him more action packed,
right?
But kids weren't behind it. You know, they weren't watching that channel that he was on, and so it dropped. Kevin Smith, all the adults are going to be on this.
Right.
The fact that it's on Netflix as well, all the adults will be like, bit of He-Man for me. Yeah.
Well, I never watched the original. It was before sort of my time, but
right.
I would probably watch this.
Did you watch Turtles?
Which one? Oh yeah,
Turtles.
Yeah.
Turtles was your Transformers. I mean, you probably not.
Yeah, that was my era. That was my childhood.
Well,
Ghostbusters, Turtles.
Well, yeah, but I mean, He-Man was like 84.
It was just
after...
before. It was just before me.
Yeah.
Turtles and Ghostbusters.
It was always a morale lesson with that He-Man, though, because he was always having fun with Skeletor, but you wanted the throwdown. So when the film came along and they had the big sword battle, did you see the film?
No,
of course you didn't. Why did I even ask that question?
But why would I watch the film if I've not seen the character?
Well, I don't know.
I wasn't invested.
9 yourself on something. Right. You're probably playing the game, the He-Man game, right?
I've played that. Yeah. Is there a game?
On the Commodore and Amstrad. Yeah.
No.
And the next piece of news is another shock. I never expected to see this in the news.
Right.
Matrix 4.
Oh yes.
Is going to be going into production next year at Warner Brothers. Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss are set to return to the franchise, along with Lana Wachowski, who is set to write and direct. There's no word yet from Lawrence Fishburne or Lily Wachowski being involved.
Yeah, because both Wachowskis now are women.
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like, both were guys, then one became a girl, and then the other one
I
became
knew
a girl.
one.
Yeah, now both are.
Both of them are girls, yeah.
Right,
yeah.
okay.
And
so only one of the girls is coming back to the Matrix to continue the franchise forward.
Like, time travel is the only way I can understand this one.
Didn't they die at the end?
Yeah, he died at both
of them were dead at the end.
It's
yes.
either that or...
And it's funny that the two that had died are coming back.
Yeah.
Those that lived are gone.
Well, because, mate, Keanu Reeves needs money.
Keanu Reeves does not need money.
Keanu Reeves needs
John
money
Wick
to
movies are just
make his bed more higher. The fact that he gets to lie on
he's getting cyberpunk money as well. Yeah, he's fine.
Outside of Hollywood, Keanu Reeves doesn't. He burns his money. He gives it to charities.
Even worse. So that's why the Amazon's on fire. Is because that's where he takes money. He's like, I'm taking all this back to the trees, and then he burns it and sets fire to the Amazon. No, I fully don't understand how, like, as a franchise, they've told us that this obviously keeps happening. You know, they make a Neo, they make a Trinity.
Yeah, but they ended the cycle.
Exactly. So for me, I'm like, so you are just literally bringing them back. There's a high chance that Keanu Reeves might not know who this Trinity is.
Did they close the Matrix off? Was the Matrix closed down? They were waking everybody up at the end.
No, they weren't waking everyone up. They were going to give everyone choices. They were going to say, hey, do you want to live in the real world where all the nuclear radiation is?
Yeah.
Or do you want to live in the Matrix world where you're a living battery?
That's where I want to see humans coming out of those pods into the real world without the monster of the robot threat. And just go and look at the state of the fucking planet. Like,
Netflix season.
What happened?
Netflix series.
How are they going to do that if they're both dead? Because it's set with them in. So
they could still be in the Matrix.
They can be brought into the Matrix. They can be reborn. That's what I'm saying. Is that the Matrix?
I don't know.
The Matrix can literally just bring them back to life. They won't be the same Trinity and Neo that we know from the last 3 movies.
Yeah.
They will have all new memories. They can be imprinted maybe with the memories of the 3 previous characters because it's all on computer. It's all on the cloud.
But would he still be the one then? If it's
he will be one of the ones.
Oh no! The first Matrix film is groundbreaking and it shaped the last 20, 30 years of action movies.
Yes.
The sequels, I don't like the Matrix sequels.
I pretend they don't exist.
Those robot saints. Yeah, fucking robot saints.
Brain dead action sequences. You know, it lost the philosophy that made the first film so great.
Don't do that. The first one was such a fucking hacker's wet dream. And then when we realised that the Matrix didn't exist, everyone burnt their phones and long black leather coats, and we all went back to work.
Well,
we couldn't give our bosses
I've still kept my leather jacket still in my wardrobe somewhere.
Still in my fucking wardrobe.
I could get it back on again. That'd be cool.
I was behind the Matrix as well when it first came out, but I immediately saw the franchise being born then because everybody had the glasses, the coat, the phones. It's a fucking advertiser's wet dream. The whole bullet time thing. Every game was doing it at the time.
Yeah.
I was very surprised of how they went with the second film. Because they finished it on a to be continued, and I went, "Oh my god, I can't wait for the third one."
Well, they filmed it back to back.
Yeah, but I didn't know that at the time. I was completely in shock. A lot of other people were like, "What the fuck's that?" And I was begging to rewatch the second one again because I had to understand what the fuck Colonel Sanders was talking about. You know. Then I watched it again, and the third time, and the fourth time, and I was like,
That's why DVD sales were so good. I still
don't get this. But then I like the freeway chase sequence. You know,
the highway sequence.
I couldn't stand the twins. They just
the ghosts. They were trying. Yeah, but they were trying to expand the universe. They were trying to make. Hey, look. You know, when you saw vampires and werewolves, it's just programs. You know, when you saw a tree that was up. You remember the Animatrix?
I like the Animatrix. That was great because that was exploring other ideas around.
Yes, but it was just another birth of the franchise building to bring us all the games and the comic books. Then 2 more films, more mobile phones, more sunglasses. Fucking 20 quid bet when Matrix 4 comes out, we'll go to the cinema and you'll be able to buy a pair of sunglasses to watch it in 3D.
Yeah.
That the fucking actors wear.
It's the Matrix, man. Fuck it. Better be in 4D.
Mate, Neo will fight John Wick before the end of this year.
Who wins?
Obviously John Wick. Obviously, Nella. Fucking hell.
Well, the next bit of film news I've got for you is I'm kind of happy that this is happening because obviously we lost George A. Romero, and this was a project that he always wanted to actually get off the ground.
Okay.
And that is the Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon, which is going to be an adaptation, and it's going into production now after it was shelved after the death of George A. Romero.
Okay.
He was going to be writing and directing this Stephen King adaptation. But now George A. Romero's former wife, Christine Romero, has been working to make sure that this project does go ahead. And she's been working with Roy Lee, who is one of the producers of the reimagined It.
Yep.
And now it's actually going to go ahead. The story, if you don't know the Stephen King story, it follows a 9-year-old girl called Trisha who gets lost out in the woods with her family, and she spends weeks literally trying to find her way home, but she's going further in the wrong direction.
Right.
Obviously,
Did this just happen? And...
Were you watching the news as well?
Yeah.
Right, let's just let him finish his thing before we...
Obviously, she starts to hallucinate, and after hunger and exhaustion take their toll on her, she creates, her imaginary, Tom Gordon, the baseball player, to keep her company, whilst a dark supernatural presence known as the God of the Lost stalks her.
Right.
Like I said, George started developing this film over 10 years ago. And now that he's passed away, it's nice to see that his production company is going to honour him and get the film made.
Yeah, they might wait a couple of months, mate, before they make this film trailer.
It's going ahead right now. So
well, yeah, because the news, there's just been an incident in the news where there was a girl who older than that actually, same thing, lost in the woods out with her family and died. But that's gonna be dark as fuck.
Well, yeah, it's a Stephen King adaptation, so...
this actually reminds me of a film I wikied a week ago. Of course I wikied it, man. Man, seriously, when I tell you it, you'll be fucking glad I fucking warned you about it. It was a film, I think it was called Apo, and it was on Netflix. It's about a little girl in India, right, whose mum commits suicide in her flat. And the girl is left alone over the course of a few days, locked in this flat. And the director follows this little girl around the room, and it's real life hazards and all this fucking shit that gets involved. It reminds me a lot of that, and that could be situated literally where you're watching a 9-year-old girl wander around the woods.
You won't want to watch that. I have a 9-year-old girl. I don't want to watch that.
No, man. That's it. Because when you're watching them go to sleep in the rain, you're like, fuck's sake.
Well, the last bit of film news I have for you today, and it's a topic that's come up quite a bit, and that is about the greedy Disney mouse and how much money they want to milk out of your wallets.
Bullshit.
Take it all.
Recently, there's been a divide between Sony and Marvel over the rights of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And at the moment, it looks like Spider-Man is out of the Marvel Cinematic Universe as the shared custody deal has come to an end. According to Sony, Disney wanted more revenue for less involvement going forward. There was originally a 95 to 5% split.
Yeah.
Disney said,
no,
we want 50-50 now.
Because they own the fucking rights.
Yeah. No, Disney don't own the rights. Sony own the rights to Spider-Man.
Wait.
Spider-Man belongs to Sony.
Sony makes shit films.
Yes, I agree.
And any Spider-Man movies they make on their own are going to be shit.
Sony recently makes shit movies because Sony used to make amazing movies. Last 10, 15 years has been a different story. I can't tell you a good Sony film for the last 10 years at all.
Yeah, especially any fucking Spider-Man related ones.
Well, I was just saying, Sony's original trilogy of movies with Sam Raimi.
Those are good.
Yes,
The Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2.
Yes, terrible. Like I said, the most recently Sony have dropped the ball.
Because they're trying to hold on to that franchise because after Sam Raimi made those first trilogy of movies, you know, the fans of comic books were like, hello, we want more, but we're not settling for that. We want more. Marvel start coming along. They start their fucking great prize running, and they own Spider-Man. Spider-Man Homecoming wouldn't have been half as good without half the involvement of Marvel and the little nods.
That might be the case,
nod.
yeah.
Sony should be lucky they got an offer of 50-50 split.
Marvel want to stick Spider-Man in the next fucking Venom movie. And I ain't even watching the first Venom movie.
Sony can put Tom Holland Spider-Man in the next Venom movie. They can do that. Marvel can't stop them.
Because Venom's... No, all the film companies should give up the rights to the fucking superheroes.
To Disney, just give everything to Disney.
Don't give everything to Disney. I don't want Disney Marvel having a monopoly over everything.
It's going to happen because they are putting... they are putting the right resources into it.
Yeah.
Marvel movies overshadow all other superhero movies at the moment.
The last two Spider-Man movies...
The others are terrible.
The last two Spider-Man movies were financed solely by Sony.
Yeah.
They paid for those movies to be made, and they had Kevin Feige's involvement in overseeing it.
And that's why they want so much of this money back, because they know that they're not going to make that much money back if they give in to Marvel's demands. And I know it sounds demanding, but Marvel, if you look at it this way, have gone, all right, there you go, give it 10 years. Let's see how your next movie done. Oh, you want to sell it for half the price? Here you go. Thank you. Right, get on the next Spider-Man movie. Sorry, Tom, you're 10 years too old now.
Yeah,
when you hear
stories like this,
he's the perfect Spider-Man for me.
When you hear stories like this, though, from Stanley's daughter, who's recently, chimed in on this argument by saying, when her father died, not a single person from Marvel or Disney reached out to the Stanley family.
Nope.
From day one, they have commoditized my father's work and never shown him or his legacy any respect or decency. In the end, no one could have treated my father worse than Marvel or Disney executives.
Yeah, but he got to be in the films.
Yeah, that's it, and that's them just tipping their hat and going, "You wrote."
But in fairness as well, from a business point of view, what do you expect? You know, they're not Disney is not a family-run company that wants to invite you in and make friends. Disney is just a face. It's a massive company. Yeah,
make money.
It's making money, and so I'm pretty sure. Maybe I need to wiki this. Maybe I need to Google it. But I'm pretty sure they honoured all their agreements to everybody once they owned the rights to the Marvel movies. They have put the money and the resources into the cinematic universe. Yes. And I'm not defending them.
I see is the fucking greed of the mouse, and just like they want more money. They are already making so much money that I think that they can afford to help out other studios with their projects and their visions for these characters.
But didn't you say
having a singular vision for so many characters? I think you're going to water it all down.
Didn't you say they stepped away from Sony? They stepped away from... They could easily just buy them out. They could pay 3-4 times the amount that Sony wants for the contract. It's Sony that wants the contract because they know how valuable
Sony already owns the contract. It's
yes,
like they don't
but
have
for
to
how
give
long
it up.
For? Who else has got Fantastic Four? Is that Sony?
Marvel. It's Disney, Marvel.
It's what they've got Fantastic Four now, right?
And X-Men.
Once they
own, that's just reverted to it.
Yeah.
The only ones they don't have now is Hulk is over at Universal and Spider-Man is over at Sony.
Right, you ain't gonna see another Hulk movie.
And Universal ain't giving up the Hulk either. No. So, and I'm kind of fine with that because
I wouldn't want to watch a Hulk film. I wouldn't want to watch it.
I don't think the Hulk works as a singular story myself.
He was fine
as
wrong part of the Avengers team and stuff.
But on another angle, yes, you may be right. The Hulk doesn't work as a singular. That's why you put him with these others, and that's why Marvel, Disney, whoever was behind it, has pissed on Sony's fire by going, we got Captain America established, Thor established, fucking Iron Man established. You keep your Spider-Man. He's already established. We'll establish Moon Knight and She-Hulk and Black Panther. And there's that to the point where Spider-Man, as valuable as a commodity as he is, will not be worth that much because we will have access to so many more.
And Spider-Man is still one of my favorite superheroes, especially in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He is my favorite superhero.
Somebody also said as well that if you're upset that he's not going to see him on film, just read the comics because those are a lot better.
Yeah, right.
Those are a lot better.
All I see, I mean, I agree. Sony's track record of films is terrible lately. And the last two Spider-Man films I've enjoyed with Marvel, Disney's involvement. But despite that, that's one level. It's the money greed issue from Disney Marvel that I find detestable.
Business is
and
business.
So that is something I have to comment on.
Yeah, it is.
But it's disgusting when they already own so much and they have so much money, then they want more. When I just go, just make movies.
How many people are you going to need once you make the Spider-Man movie? How many people are you going to pay on that set? The actors, the special effectors, all that all costs money.
Well, Sony was paying it.
Yeah. Look what Sony put their money into Venom.
Yeah.
They put their money into Venom, and look how well that did.
Yeah.
Marvel put their money into Homecoming.
Sony put their money into Homecoming.
Well, and they made money off it as well. Yes, they guaranteed.
Yeah.
Well, give it a couple of years.
Either which way.
Who owns Spider-Woman?
The only people that are losing out with these corporations arguing,
they could just totally do Spider-Woman. We got enough Spider-Man movies. We need like a.
I would love a third one. I would love a third.
What, a third Tom Holland one?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I really like Tom Holland.
Man, the second one wasn't that. Homecoming was all right, but predictable as fuck.
I've not seen second one yet.
Really?
I've not seen it yet. It is on my list to watch.
You're a Spider-Man fan, right?
I am a Marvel fan.
Well,
Mysterio, do you know?
I know all that. Mysterio, Doc Ock, all those.
See, Homecoming for me is what the Thing is to you.
Right, okay.
But let's not even get started on Andrew Garfield because that fucking shit's shit.
Well, that's the end of the film news. I've only got a couple of trailers listed to go over today. The first trailer is, of course, for The Mandalorian. Back to Disney, Marvel. God damn it!
Don't watch it, money grubbing bastards.
I'll keep this one short by saying that it's going to be available on the Disney Plus streaming service on November 12th.
Are you going to watch it, Gary?
Yeah. I'm really excited for The Mandalorian.
Sony aren't going to watch it.
Oh, he's going to throw money at
it. I might
just
have to find somebody.
Take the money though.
I might have to find someone who has a subscription to it, or I might have to find it on the black market. Not that I'm, saying that that's a good thing, but the Mandalorian, the TV trailer that they put out there looks fantastic. I really like that trailer. One of my favourite parts about the old Republic games was the Mandalorian
I love that
characters and planet and those that set. I really like I love the idea of bounty hunters in the Star Wars universe.
I'm hoping they do stick to the actual honoured story of the Mandalorians. Let's not try anything here. If you're a fan of Star Wars,
I think they need to keep their fans happy because Star Wars has gone out of its way to piss off its Star Wars fans.
Or Disney.
Disney.
The mouse is pissing us off. Do you think they'll do what a lot of shows are doing at the moment and just drop the whole fucking series like day one, like November 12th is fucking
I think they want you to keep coming back weekly for Mandalorian. I think Disney will do weeklies instead of whole season drops.
But I think if I'm honest, I think that's actually being the success for a lot of TV shows at the moment.
There's a big argument about
having it there, and you just
binge it. Give me a choice of two shows, one that's fully released and one that you're going to want me to come back for the next 12 weeks. I'm watching that one.
You'll take the binge.
I will take the binge every day.
And you'll wait for the second one to fully come out so you can binge it.
Exactly. I do it with the anime. I watch a lot of anime shows, and I recently waited for an arc to be. I caught up to date. I was like, I'm not watching anymore. I'm going to wait for this arc and then half of the next arc. So when I've watched up, I'm going to have two, and then I'm going to stop. I'm not watching week to week shows anymore. Binge watch it or nothing.
Gotta have the time. We'll wait for November 12th. I mean, it's 3 days after my birthday, so how exciting is your
birthday drop there?
Yeah, birthday drop, boom.
Day before mine as well.
Nice.
November.
Nice.
Now, here was a trailer coming up that ticked all the boxes for me, and that is Ad Astra, starring Brad Pitt, Liv Tyler, Tommy Lee Jones, and Donald Sutherland.
I thought it was a car advert.
It's going to be how...
And then I was like, Brad Pitt's in a car advert.
It's going to be out on the 18th of September. And after watching this trailer, I was just like, this for me is Gravity. It meets Interstellar. I'm sold. Like, I'm there. Yes. This looks like space drama, sci-fi, action, characters.
Man, I've been saying it recently as well. Fucking Brad Pitt, like, when I die, if I ever die, you know, there'll be an actor, you know, when you look at classic actors, you'll be like, oh man, I remember back in the day going to see a Brad Pitt movie. You know, Brad Pitt was one of those guys. Brad Pitt is so fucking good that when I saw this trailer, I was just like, I'm sold on this. Like, I haven't seen Interstellar yet, and I know that's sacrilege to some people, but it's like, I don't feel fully in the mood to watch it yet. Like, Gravity was good, but I still have not gone back to it because it's such an immense movie. It took so much out of me and gave me so much. I'm like, yeah, I've seen it.
That would be years before I'd watch that again.
Yeah.
Definitely.
With this, I'm like, I could easily just... Like, I won't go to the cinema and watch it. I'll fucking wiki it. Yeah. But I'll happily, at home, you know, sit back and just chill and just let Brad Pitt talk me through space.
Right.
You know? Because it's fucking Brad Pitt. He's fucking intelligent. He can ground a movie. He's emotional. Maybe it's because I just watched Snatch last night and Mickey was fucking awesome. But yeah, no, I'm definitely excited for it.
Yes, hell yeah. Well, that's going to bring us to the end of this part of the podcast. Yeah. We're going to take a quick break. Go and get some more beers. Go and get some fresh air.
Yeah.
It's warm now. Yeah. I take back my earlier comments. It is warm.
We shall be back soon to interact with the chat, catch up with some questions.
Yeah.
And take it easy.
Take it easy, guys. Make a freeze face.
Make a pause. That's going to Now, Ian, so now you can watch
What was that you just said, Ian?
I said I got to get my challenges done, Nella.
Oh, right. Yeah. That's
that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Somebody's dropped in the fucking James Bond title. Yeah.
Thoughts on the 007 film? Yeah, we're kind of pre-recording.
Of course I'm excited as fuck for a new James Bond movie. Fuck you, James Bond's my shit, man. I love watching James Bond.
I prefer this title to the Quantum of Solace and all the other fucking shit.
Yeah.
This sounds like a James Bond next title.
Casino Royale was good because they brought him back in. Quantum of Solace I like because it continued. I liked it because it continued the story of Casino Royale and they could have just ended it there.
Yes.
Skyfall.
Has there been many others though that have continued on from James Bond? Because I haven't watched all of the James Bonds. I've watched.
No, what I always loved about James Bond was that he was a guy for a period, done a couple of missions, then they changed him. So it was just a name. You know, the agent took the form of the number and the name and let go of everything else. Yeah, there was that little thing where he got married, but then his wife died, and it shows you that James Bond should never get fucking married. Then they come along, they're like...
That's the lesson to learn. Marriage is bad.
Then they come along with Daniel Craig, and they're like, oh yeah, he lives at Skyfall, he's actually James Bond.
Yeah.
Actually
Gave him an origin story, met his parents.
Yeah, he's basically Bruce Wayne, basically. Yeah. You know, his parents died, he was rich, he moved into the British Secret Service, became a badass. You know, I'm like, no, because in the first one he was already a broken man. So you're telling me that we're missing this whole now backstory of his family, you know, him, you know, maybe they were trying to have him say that he was married at some point, like the George Lazenby one, and she died, and that's why he's broken like that. But I want this one to be Daniel Craig's last one, and I want us to give somebody else a chance. I don't care who. You tease me with Idris Elba. Give me Idris Elba. You want to make it a female James Bond? Give me a female. I don't care.
No, I don't want a female.
I think they're doing that, aren't they?
Yeah, I think they announced it.
I think so. Yeah.
Like I said,
it's the actress from Captain Marvel.
It's not the fucking. It's not the name. You know, the name is just a code name. It's the action. It's the story behind it. It's the villain.
No, I don't want it to be a woman because I don't feel they're making the choice because we think they're the right person for it. I feel. Oh, it's PC. We're going to look how PC we all are. We're joining, ticking all those boxes.
They've got to get away from the whole sex thing. But she'll sleep with people to get what she wants.
I think they're making that choice for the wrong reason.
It's human nature. You're going to shag your way to shit.
To be honest, I've not enjoyed James Bond since Roger Moore. Yeah. I like one of the Pierce Brosnan films. GoldenEye, yeah, and then after that, just not really that interested. Yeah. I literally watched a documentary during the week on Moonraker. That was fascinating just to see them, you know, how they came up with the idea. Obviously, just after Star Wars had come out, we've got to put James Bond in space,
lasers.
But it was just like they like watching the filmmakers. They had no fucking clue how to make a James Bond film in space, and like how they build the sets, how do they do people floating. It was just like an amazing process to watch them do it, and obviously turn Jaws into the good guy and all that sort of stuff.
I never really liked that.
I mean, even as a kid, I was like, I didn't realise that there was so many people that after Jaws' first appearance as a villain went, why isn't he a good guy? To the point where that fed back to the producers that were just like,
always a bad guy.
Yeah, he was, but yeah.
But I'll watch it. I'll wait for it. I say I'll watch it. That's a lie. I'll wiki it.
I think I will wiki this one. I don't think I will watch this one. I didn't
even see the last one.
I wiki most movies.
Yeah.
I agree with Ian. I agree with Ian so much. I wiki stuff. I will watch a TV show, and if I'm into it after 2 or 3 episodes,
I'm gone. Don't fuck out.
After 2 or 3 episodes, I will wiki the rest of the show because I'm like, I can't wait. I need it now. I need this information.
Knowledge
need me.
Knowledge is power. Knowledge is power.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Man, that's a
error 404 not found.
that's a turn up for the books, man. I had no clue.
I've told you this before.
No,
wiki
you
stuff.
didn't tell me that.
Well, it's because you don't listen to me.
Well, it's usually because we're playing over Xbox and fucking, there's lots of stuff.
Because he doesn't respect me. That's what it is.
Man, it's just so much easier, isn't it? Because you save so much money. You don't have to go to cinema.
It's time.
And don't you get like an established feeling of how you would watch it? Then
I'm just impatient and I need the information now. I don't want to wait. I just need to know.
You don't spoil it for other people though, do you?
No. That involves talking to people.
Carries guns in close up again.
Sorry.
Doesn't give you the ass or the crotch going back. Right,
I kept seeing in the chat that you were trying to figure out how tall I am.
Talking to these motherfuckers, I'm not even looking at the chat. Hey Thomas, hey Mr. Will Guitar, hey Imagine Ian. That's class. Hey Matthias, hey Boss, hey Langland Smith, hey Hypnosilic Dreams. Wiki is spoiler said it is, but it's somebody takes the time there. Somebody really goes, right, okay, I've just gone to the cinema, I've watched the film, I'm going to go back and I'm going to load up my Wikipedia account and upload the plot onto there. That's the sick motherfucker.
So you're only getting somebody else's interpretation of it.
No, yeah, but these people are so...
I read it 2 or 3 different places.
These people are so meticulous, these people who like to write on Wikipedia, that they like the information to be accurate.
Yes.
You can't go on Wikipedia and just mess shit up because somebody's going to moderate and come behind you.
I did it for the recent Avengers film because I knew someone would spoil it. So I thought, fuck it, I'm going to go read it.
Yeah, good
so
reason.
then you can't spoil it.
Cheers,
yes.
And then I also did it for the Game of Thrones finale. And I decided early on I wasn't going to finish the season because I have not liked it for 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
But I wanted to read the finale because when I went into work, if someone was going to be a dick, I was going to hold that over and get your fucking work done.
Exactly.
Or I'll spoil it for you. And that was because I did it at 9 o'clock in the morning before anyone had a chance. I'm like, today work's going to get done. No one's going to be a dick to me today.
Nella, you are preaching to the choir, mate. Yeah. I totally fucking agree with every word you just said. There is nothing worse than walking into a place, trying to keep yourself to yourself, and some motherfucker coming over and going, did you see that new film? I'm going to tell you how it ends.
Yeah.
And you just want to rip their arms off. And you're just like, why would you do that? Where you can just go...
So you just do it for yourself instead.
And you're
but it's on my terms. It's on my terms.
I've said this for years, Nella, and nobody has listened. They've never understood my point
What's
of view.
worse, a spoiler where you're expecting it or where it's just coming out of nowhere? Do you know what I mean? I was watching the Game of Thrones season 5. You know when the dragon died and it was just being resurrected, and I was watching it after the fact upstairs. It was like 4 or 5 weeks afterwards. And literally, the moment before he came in, my daughter comes up, so I pause and she's like, what are you watching? Game of Thrones. Oh, isn't that the one where the dragon died? I'm like, motherfucker. I'm literally 10 seconds away from it. And I was furious at that spoiler, and I'm never normally... Because it was literally about to happen.
You made
but if I'd have wikied it, it would have been fine.
You made the mistake. As soon as that TV series came out and everyone's saying it's based on a book, I wikied the books.
No,
I was ahead of everybody.
Yeah, but this is after the books. I've read it. I've read all the books.
Did you remember the time when the Red Wedding came out and social media was a red... How devastating was that? I wasn't even watching it at that time. I just watched people all over the place.
Before it came out, I was sat there all smug like, wait till you could see, watch this. You're going to be furious.
Motherfuckers were dropping reaction videos all over the place. I couldn't get away from anywhere. And I'm like, I'm not even watching the show. Oh, but you gotta watch it. Why? You just told me this scene's absolutely fucking amazing. I'm gonna go wiki it. Oh yeah, I don't even know who half these people are, but they're all dead. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. And they got so mad at me, Nella, and now you're hearing it twice. Man, look at that face. Look at that face.
All I'm saying is there's a time and a place to wiki it, and it's just after the film's released.
Personal times. Man, 24 hours. Have you ever been at, like as soon as it comes out in America, before it's over here?
Yes.
I did it for Avengers as well.
Lost. I did it. I'd watch it as soon as it was aired in America. I'd be up in 2 o'clock in the morning watching it.
You
Lost.
can get all types of information on Wikipedia. I'll probably do Mindhunter later. I've already looked up Dharma and fucking
For me to not wiki a show, it is a lot of self-control.
I appreciate that.
You've mentioned The Boys to watch on Amazon. It is genuine in my mind. Do I wiki that tonight?
Yes.
Because I need a backstory on how it's going out, what it is for the comics, because it's a bit different.
See, how long have you been wikiing your shit for?
I'm 32, so 25 years.
See, you got to take it slow. You got to wiki the comics first.
That's where I would wiki.
Wiki the comics first,
because then I know it's different.
Then watch the TV series.
Don't tie me to the couch.
But once you wiki the series, once you wiki the TV series, don't watch it. Go on to something else.
No, I still want to watch it. I'd still watch it because it's.
You don't need to, because once you read the comic books, you'll be comparing it. That's when it gets slippery slope.
Would I wiki a video game storyline in advance? Would I or have I? The answer is yes, I have.
What have you done?
It's
wikied something in advance.
No, says would I wiki a video game in storyline in advance? Yes. I did it with Dragon Quest XI recently.
Yeah.
It was taking too long to get to a fucking point, so I read it. After 40 hours, I should know the story.
Yeah, motherfuckers. Yeah. Next question.
No, I think we're ready. I think we're ready to kick off the second part of the podcast. Now that you guys have done jerking off Wikipedia.
Look, support Wikipedia. It needs donations.
Evidently, I'm gonna get my ad blocker. And welcome back to the second part of the podcast, where we are going to be answering your questions from the chat. We do actually have a couple of questions that have been sent in to us, so we'll just start off with the first question that's come in from Craig Hall.
Hey, Craig.
Which said, just wondering what your thoughts on Streets of Rage 4 are. The latest gameplay footage looks and sounds amazing, in my opinion, and it looks a worthy addition to the Streets of Rage lineup. Stay shelfie, fist bump. Have you seen the latest footage yet?
I watched the trailers on Facebook. Love Streets of Rage.
I know we've played Streets of Rage on previous Gaming Fridays. Dan, you played Streets of Rage?
Yeah, it was my first game I played ever.
Awesome. Wow.
Yeah.
That's such a legacy behind it.
Yes, my very first game, followed just after by Sonic.
Nice.
I'll be honest, I watched the footage of Streets of Rage 4 a couple of weeks ago and I was like, that's novel. I watched the footage of Streets of Rage 4 again today and I was like, do I care? Like, will I purchase this game?
You won't.
Do I want to play a game that's going to last 30 minutes?
That's the thing.
No.
Then it's
that's
over.
the thing. Yeah, you're not.
Like,
You're not going to buy this
it's a side-scrolling punch 'em up, beat 'em up that's offering nothing new. I've watched 20 minutes of footage. I was bored after 4 minutes. The only thing that excited me was the music.
How much?
Because they got the original composers back.
How much is it to buy?
I don't know. I would not pay more than £5 for this.
Yeah, see, that's what.
£10 I'd play.
Yeah, it's
and
not,
only if
it's
we're
an
going to
arcade
co-op
game.
Yes,
that is it.
It is
the
the
honest
arcade
game.
It'll be over in a night. Like, what is the challenge? To play it again on a harder difficulty?
Yeah.
How do you get better
there's
at
no
Streets of Rage?
replay
There's
value.
nothing to get
your
better
buddies
at.
in. I mean, I don't know if it's got online multiplayer or anything
Well,
like
yeah,
that. I mean,
yeah.
how many
Co-op
players can you
player,
have
two
at once?
player.
I would
Is
hope.
it just 2 players?
Yeah.
I would hope online at 2-player at least. Otherwise, why are you bothering releasing it?
See, I mean, are they releasing this on its own, or have they got other arcade?
No, that's it. It's just it.
It's
It's just Streets of Rage 4. But I like the art style. I like the fact that they've got the original sound effects, the character models.
But it's not like a 60 quid game.
I got hit with the nostalgia on the character selection screen. It's just like, great, that's great. But like, I don't.
Yeah.
See, I didn't watch the trailer. I don't watch trailers anymore because they just get you excited for something that's coming out in 2 years' time, and I don't want to deal with the hype. So I wait and go, oh, that comes out next week. Then I'm excited for a week, rather than going, oh, that comes out in 2 years. I can't wait. Which you've been doing with Cyberpunk, and you've been harping on at me for 4 or 5 years. Can't wait, and then you finally got released it this year. I don't have to wait that long.
Right. But I mean, growing up playing Streets of Rage, there was nothing else like it other than Golden Axe. There was a few other games, but there was nothing else. Like it was at the peak of its gameplay type. Modern times, releasing a Streets of Rage game, it's
Double Dragon.
Yeah.
Badass.
I just think it's only going to get so far before it loses interest.
I don't see it. I see it being.
It'll be sold to
20,
people
25 quid, and then they'll half it because nobody's buying it.
It'll be sold to people of our age for nostalgia reasons, but it's not going to be hitting with younger kids. My kids are not going to want to play that. They're going to look at that and go, "That looks shit."
No,
it'll
play
be
Minecraft.
a good
play. It'll be a good play if you get it for like cheap. Like, you'll buy it just because.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, I think I played as you in Golden Axe.
So we got a question there from Lanny Lynn Smith, who says, Ian, Gary and Dan, what do you think about the third Rejects? Or I'm assuming that's the
new Rob Zombie
Escape from Hell, is it? Or the Three from Hell?
movie.
That's it. Three from Hell. We talked about the trailer, or have we talked about the trailer before?
Yeah, I think in a couple of podcasts ago. I'm
excited for it. I disowned Rob Zombie after the Halloween remake.
Yeah, but I'm unsure about how the violence will hold up. If it will hold up.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be very offensive and very kind of disgusting to the point where you're just like, why do I like these characters again?
Yeah.
That's the sort of film I'm imagining Rob Zombie to do. So I'm excited. I want to be disgusted. I want to walk out of the cinema going, fuck you, Rob Zombie, you made me feel ill. And then I'll be like, fucking rock on. because you did that. Like, do that to me in 2019, please. Offend me, because I'm fucking sick and tired of the PC generation.
Fucking man, you say that.
Sorry, Dan.
I did a spit take there.
you say that though, but like we just said, I mean, all I can think is would The Free from Hell do better as a Netflix series?
No,
because
it needs to be a film.
They got to. Well, you say that, but then they got to try and release it to cinemas. You got to try to be pushing the envelope with violence. Cinemas are going to be like, oh, who are we selling this film to? Where when you sell it to somebody like Amazon or Netflix, you know they wanna sell this and keep the audience coming back.
Yeah.
So I'm afraid that Rob Zombie's making a film that's going to go to cinemas. It's going to flop because of the generation, like you said, but at the same time it's going to be his vision, and Halloween 2 was fucking shit. I haven't even seen The Witches of Salem or 31
awful.
or right, okay, so he's on a roll here. He's got a new film out where the last 3 are awful.
Yeah,
brilliant.
But he's going to offend Gary, so it's fine.
Yes.
Maybe Sony will release it, you know.
Go 50-50 with Sony. They're looking for a contract, so someone to go with.
Yeah, with Spider-Man in.
Okay, we got a question from David Morris.
Hey,
if
David.
you could have one special guest on the podcast, who would it be and why?
It's
Cheers.
me, thanks. That question.
Yeah, that was it.
No, all the way down from Barnsley. No, if I could have a special guest in, I would love to get in. There's 2 people, I guess. Two other YouTubers I would get in.
Right.
I'd love to have Oliver Harper. Obviously, he's got his own YouTube channel, does retrospective film reviews.
Yeah.
I always skip the beginning and end of his reviews, but that's because he just montages the film story.
Yeah.
He's very good. He's a very good editor. You know, he's done very well for himself. He's producing documentaries now, and he's got interviews with so many character actors from the 70s, 80s, and 90s.
Yeah.
And, you know, discussing all sorts of, you know, the classic films that we've all grown up with. I love his commentary tracks as well. I just think he's a very well-informed film critic who would be great to talk to.
He wikis everything.
I'd love that.
Yeah. So yeah, a collaboration with him would be very good. I would also love to have Mauler. Or Mauler.
Oh, yeah.
He's the guy who's the whole, you know, subjective objective argument, and just saying he likes to be very objective in all of his videos instead of being subjective, which is more opinion based. He likes to argue objectively why things are good or bad, and you know, I find his videos very enlightening. Especially when he talks about, you know, Game of Thrones or Dark Souls or Star Wars or anything else that's kind of, you know, pretty, you know, mass, you know, culturally influencing material. And I think he's very well informed. He's very articulate in his arguments and his presentation.
I'm seeing a pattern here. He just wants to replace us with really smart thinking people. It's like, fuck that shit. I want Adam Sandler. I want Adam Sandler on the show.
You're saying us, but it's you that's been replaced.
Well, fuck you, man. I didn't have to work. It's not like you fucking put in the work.
Because I know that you would
pick
their brains, and I
entertained.
know you would probably give somebody like Mueller an aneurysm.
Yeah,
which would be amazing
that's
to watch happen live on a podcast.
We would go probably for a couple of hours. See, man, we want to get some like real massive culture, like Boris Johnson. You know, that would probably be
I don't want to get political.
Like, no, this is political. Do you imagine what is the favourite film? What is Boris Johnson like to watch? What does Donald Trump like to watch on a Sunday
Himself.
Well, exactly. I mean, what films is Donald Trump in? That would be actually quite interesting. I'd love to get Will Smith in. Like, Will Smith's like the nicest guy.
I'm back on your side.
I knew I was going with people who might actually come onto the channel.
You never know if you don't ask. You know, these people are out there. You know, you want people like Oliver Harper.
I think he's at will.smith@gmail.com. So, businessgmail.com. So just send him an email. You never know.
Yeah, you know, Kevin Spacey would be good to get on. You know.
Adam Sandler, that would be a great person to have on.
See, that's what I said.
Gary would wrestle him.
It'd be a very short podcast.
But very entertaining.
Yeah, we'd go for his top 10.
Decker Shadow, I'd love to do a film collaboration
James Rolfe
with him.
would be great.
James Rolfe.
Spoonie would be great to get in.
Good luck getting Spoonie to do anything.
Yeah.
That guy's disappeared into total obscurity now.
Man, they do. Once they
once they stopped releasing content.
But then you get...
It's a sad story of Spoonie. The Spoonie Experiment.
The thing is, though, it's the time...
Spoonie Experiment is Noah Antwiller.
Antwiller, yeah.
He produced review content. Like, he was there in the heyday, like the dawn of
it was him,
internet
Nostalgia
film
Critic,
reviewers.
Angry Video Game Nerd. You know, I think... Was he there before Angry Joe?
No, he was there after them, but... You know, the most successful videos that Spoonie did for me was the series of video games, Ultima series.
Oh yeah,
he did a very good breakdown. He did the Phantasmagoria riff track commentaries.
Yeah.
Some great way. He did one of my favorite videos, which was completely tearing apart the Final Fantasy games.
Yeah,
from 8 onwards.
Yeah,
and you know, and he was just looking at it from an objective point of view, like, how does this make sense? And he went into it and broke it down, and you're just like, what the fuck? I played that.
But it got,
what's a paladin? Exactly. This guy knows.
But what it got big though, didn't it? I mean, because I came in a bit late. He had all this playlist. And I was watching all these different videos because Gary was like, you should watch this guy, and I'm watching all of his film stuff, and it was funny as hell. Like, but I was also watching the Angry Video Game Nerd at the same time, and they all started to interact with each other behind the scenes, and I'm like, where does the character end?
He loves the conspiracy theory.
Oh, totally, man. I think I totally understand. But where does Noah Antwiller end and the Spoonie Experiment begin? You know, it's like when he's making all of these videos and he's making all of these content and he's trying to keep going. You know, at one point he's gonna, like, I remember sitting there watching it, like, I'd love to do this, but between work and family it'd be really difficult to do. It is fucking difficult to do, you know, but as long as you keep it realistic, where
Noah Antwiller, his YouTube or online career died through Patreon when he was just like, if you donate this much money, I'll make a feature-length movie. He got all that money and more.
Right.
And then he was like, okay, I'm gonna go work on this movie now, so no more review content, no more stuff. I'm gonna go make this movie now. Gone.
Yeah.
Just fucking disappeared off the planet, and then came back a few, 8 months later with a film review, and everyone was like, "Where's that film you went off to make?"
Oh,
it ain't coming.
Ooh.
And that was it. That was crash and burn. And I was just like, that there is like a lesson, because I want to be a filmmaker. Yeah. I wanted
to
give
him money
for
school. Films.
And I was watching that, and I was like, wow, that's a really great way to raise money to actually go off and make a project.
The nerd went off and made his film.
He actually did it. Yes. Yeah.
But he was always more of a filmmaker than a film reviewer. You know, it was.
Well, he wanted to be a filmmaker.
Yeah,
but he ended up.
But that's it. Where Spoonie, I mean, he didn't have films like that. You know, James Rolfe, like camera in the fucking back gardens making old school horror movies and shit.
I was in the same boat as James Rolfe. So when I watched James Rolfe put those videos up where he's showing those, behind the scenes footage, I was like, wow, I grew up just like him.
Yeah.
Me, my brother, Matt, a couple of others, we had the VHS cameras that you put on your shoulder, and we were making home movies. We were filming Red Dwarf movies where we were sat on fucking cardboard boxes pretending we were in spaceships.
Yeah, man.
Like we had the imagination, and so when I see James Rolfe, I'm just like,
man, you stopped it all because you started playing Xbox with this motherfucker.
Yeah. I'm lazy.
When you said Spoonie, I just thought salad fingers.
Right? No.
Nah, he was good. He was. Yeah.
Good old tunes.
You should definitely get Vince McMahon on, or at least Triple H. That'd be good. I like Stephanie. I'd like to get Stephanie on.
Yeah, but not for that reason.
There's 2 reasons why I'd get Stephanie on.
So
one.
We got a question from Jay Hodgkinson.
Hey, Jay Hodgkinson.
Saying, I'd be interested in hearing what games you've put the most amount of time into, or what games you've replayed the most. All the best. So I did a quick look because I've only recently come back to Steam.
Yeah.
Yes. So I thought, on Steam, what's the games I've played the most? And it turns out I've put, at the moment, 549 hours into Civ 5.
That is sick.
I've put in 561 hours into Divinity Original Sin 2. But on Xbox, I would say that Chromehounds and Neverwinter, I've probably put in more than 3,000 hours on both of those games respectively. And if you're considering games that I'd ever revisit, the game I'd probably revisit the most is the Resident Evil 2 original. On the PlayStation.
I still haven't played that. We got
the remake. You haven't played the remake.
Yeah, we got it together for Christmas, and it's still just sat down now. I've just been playing Red Dead.
For me, the most amount of time for me is Binding of Isaac Rebirth. Over 3,000 hours logged between Xbox, PlayStation, and PC.
What is that?
Binding of Isaac Rebirth. It's a roguelike game.
We did a gaming Friday on it.
Yeah. Absolutely one of my all-time favourite games. I have platinum godded that, 1001% of that, 1,001% of that so many times. It's unreal. After that, it would be Divinity and probably Civ, just because we've spent so much time in that. We've done our own little
I don't know if you could
in there.
Combine all 3 Dark Souls games.
Yeah, Dark Souls. If you combine all Dark Souls, yeah.
But we've mixed that over Xbox and on PC, so it's hard for me to find the actual hours, but a lot of time.
Yeah, definitely. But Binding of Isaac's by far so far ahead of me. Probably double, triple the closest nearest one to me.
I miss Chrome Hounds. Come on, From Software, make your Chrome Hounds too.
Man, that game
I was there the day the server shut down. I stayed on that game until it kicked me off, and I stared at the main menu screen after the servers went down for hours.
I tried to play that game and I went, I don't see the appeal.
There wasn't any appeal at first. The game was bad because you had to understand the mechanics of the game. Once we understood the mechanics of the game,
you needed
how to build a Chrome Hound,
how to build a Chrome Hound and build a crew, because you had to have your mortar firing one, you had to have your fast assault, you had to have your scout. The amount of times I watched him ride round the front of the map, calling out grid coordinates for the cannons at the back that would then fire their howitzers, because they couldn't move really fast. I always loved the fact that when your Chrome Hand died, you just got that little dude.
You'd
running around with a gun.
Soldier.
I was always like, what is the fucking point of this?
There isn't.
Most game I've probably put a lot of time into.
Red Dead Redemption 2's got to be up there.
Yeah.
103 days in it, apparently.
It's just, I love riding that horse. I love Artex. Serious games though, but I mean, I was thinking the one series of game I probably put the most time into has got to be Metal Gear. Anything Metal Gear Solid. I had to be playing a Snake and everything.
Mahoyage has just said, I've played GTA 5 to death. I played it solidly for 4 years and racked up 46 days, 10 hours, 31. Big Ed, after 46 days, Chrome Hounds, I did the maths, and it's 125 days worth of time. Back to back.
I logged over 60 solid days on RuneScape, so 46 days is nothing, Big Ed. Come back.
I mean, that's a lot of time to put into a game. I mean, but...
I would have been on that as well. I mean, I did.
I don't know whether I'm proud of all those hours I put into Neverwinter or not.
Yeah, because
it shaped who you are.
Yeah, you got something out of it.
You got a lot of cash money.
I did. I cashed out of that game. I sold my character.
I cashed out and then went, oh, I'll see how much money you got. I'm going to triple that.
Right. Yeah, man.
But you also put about 10 times more hours than me.
Actually, that's the point. You motherfuckers moan at me about my daily challenges. What the fuck were you doing on Neverwinter night?
Making money.
Every day.
Making money.
Running out there, just fucking doing challenges and making money. And
I came out of that with £250 in my pocket. What have you got to show for Red Dead Redemption 2?
Man, I'm going to email Rockstar when it hits 365 and they're going to send me a personalised gun.
They're going to go, why? That's the email response.
Man, Rockstar are going to love
We haven't released content for this for 365 days.
They're going to make me a character in the game.
It's going to be the drunk uncle.
Oh, mate, but we always said I look like Lee with the beard and hair. I've cut it now.
I don't even remember which character he is, because that game is...
Just go back to sleep.
We got a quick question from Michael Kelly saying,
hey, Michael.
Would we ever consider reviewing Bram Stoker's Dracula?
Yeah.
In a heartbeat, yeah. The only thing is I would say, Ian, we're reviewing Bram Stoker's Dracula next week. If we didn't have 25... Patreon films already on the list.
Oh, and at the same time,
I'm just going to take this moment just to say thank you to any Patreons that are listening to this podcast. And if you are a new Patreon, I just want to say you might be waiting until 2020 to get your film request actually on the channel because of the backlog. We've had an interesting time of a ton of new Patreons signing up to the channel. They've put in their request and then they've kind of cancelled their patronage. But me and Ian had the discussion that we will honour every person that signed up to Patreon and put their request forward, we're going to do it.
Yes, but we obviously, I think we've said this before in a previous podcast, we have control over the Patreon list. Obviously, the Patreon priority to-do list is our go-to list for films, and we always want to thank everybody who signs up as a Patreon to support the show and gives us their film request for obviously keeping the next episode going. Because, you know, back in the day, when we first started, we were just obviously picking films, you know, and we were going through our own choices, our own films. And then obviously the patrons started coming in. We started getting our different requests, different episodes going up. Now we've gotten to a point where we are nothing but patrons.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just like, it is work. But then when people obviously say to us, well, obviously I've put in my donation, I've put in the film, and then I've unsubscribed as a patron. It's like, well, thank you, your film is on the list, but if somebody else comes in, you know, and circumstances change, your film may go down the list. It also depends on, I mean, like, thank you, Zane, I'm just going to chuck that in right now, thank you for that obviously ultimately helps out, but it's also timing as well. We find film reviews, we have a knack for timing.
Right.
Like, we'll look at the list and go, we'll just move those two films because maybe you guys don't need 80s gore fest bludgeoning horror straight to the face over 2 weekends.
Well, I just realised in the last 3 weeks have all been Alien Visitor movies.
Yeah,
we had Signs, The Predator, and Starman.
Yeah, how did that happen?
Well, the thing is, we didn't actually record them one after the other.
No.
We had films in between them, but because of YouTube's fucking copyright system going, that video is blocked, go away, re-edit it.
Yeah.
Here's a copyright strike, and we've taken that video down, go away, re-edit it, re-upload it.
You wouldn't believe the companies that strike us, like...
we have just lost Hard Boiled because of some company called Sad Panda.
I've seen that.
Have given us a copyright. There's a strike on the channel right now.
Twist his arm to fucking do it because he was just like, no, well, nobody's gonna like watching John Woo action gun movies. I'm like, what the
people who wiki films like John Woo action films.
Yeah. Like trying to convince him to do Con Air or fucking. Who do you think picked Hard Boiled? Because I got taste, motherfucker.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate John Woo, but it's just not my go-to guy.
Yeah.
He loves Adam Sandler.
Right.
That's it. We always look at it. We always look at our list, and we always think that we could cop out very easily, couldn't we? We could cop out very easily and niche ourselves into the circumstances which a lot of channels reviewers have, where they just review films that are easy to go up. Films that obviously aren't going to be hit by big name companies. Films that people don't want to see or only want to see a certain genre of. Like, every film that we review, I love. Even the most shit. Like, if you see me swear in a film, in a review, it's because I'm being honest.
I know what film they've just recorded. I'm going to say he doesn't love that film. I'm going to say, because I've got prior knowledge of this.
Yeah. But at the same time...
So I'm calling bullshit on you right now.
No, but at the same time, it gives me, it gives me the experience to look at other films. Like I said, I did that, and then the wife held up Hellboy in front of me, and I went... Yeah, I could watch that. But yeah, Bram Stoker's Dracula. I'd like to do the Bela Lugosi one first. I'd like to start doing the Warner Brother classic.
Well, we did one Dracula already. We did the Hammer one.
Yeah, no, but I'm talking Universal classic horror movies.
Sure.
I mean, I'll admit, we don't do enough black and white movies. But we're working through a backlog of a certain genre, generation of people watching us saying, hey, can you review this, review that? One day we're going to get somebody else saying, hey, can you do this? Can you do that? And, we're going to be in like a black and white section for like 3 months. Right. But yeah, Bram Stoker's. Is that Gary Oldman, isn't it?
Yeah. And Keanu Reeves. Winona Ryder.
Yeah.
Such a great film, actually, yeah. We got a question from Thomas Dorsey.
Hey, Thomas.
A question also, please. Have you guys seen the movie Cub? It's a Belgian horror movie. Thank you.
Never heard of it.
No, I've never heard of it either.
Belgium have a horror series?
Belgium make things.
Other than chocolate.
Yeah. Footballers, I know that. They've got them as well. That's about it.
No, I mean, we would definitely,
we would definitely
review that, obviously, if it ended up on our list.
I used to be subscribed to a bunch of horror websites just to get my horror movie news.
Yeah.
And I haven't visited them in such a long time. I used to be a subscriber to a website like back in the early 2000s, the Diabolical Domain, and this was like early days of internet, really, where it was just forums of horror fans just getting together and discussing horror movies that were really obscure. And to be fair, the Diabolical Domain, there was somebody on there called Sonny Fern, I think he was called, who pointed me Sonny.
Oh, okay.
Who pointed me towards The Bed That Eats. The Killer Bed movie.
Why haven't we done that
obscurity,
movie? Yeah, why haven't we done that movie yet? I'd like to do that one.
But yeah, I miss those days, and that's where I kind of discovered so many rare films like The Living Dead at the Manchester Morgue as well.
It's so slow.
There are so many fans of that film.
Yeah, I know,
the horror
crazy.
genre is so diverse and weird and wonderful. I do love it.
There's one I want to do. Or like a few months ago, I was wikiing like really weird Italian horror movies. Because I think I'd seen a film reviewed, and that just led me on a fucking wiki binge of just darkness. And I ended up on this one film about some friends who end up on an island, but there's a guy living in a cave, and he's gone completely like cannibalistic crazy, and one of the women's pregnant, and he cuts the baby out and eats it.
What?
Seriously, and this film's from like the 1980s, and I'm wikiing this shit, and I'm like, oh man, can you imagine this film going up on a Thursday morning, like 7:30?
No.
Crazy.
Okay, so we got a question from Andrew Kavanagh.
Hey, Andrew.
Then, can you guys talk about Weekend at Bernie's? Such a great movie.
Never seen
it. You never seen it?
I've not seen either.
It breaks my rule.
I'm not surprised with you, but I'm surprised. 80s, two guys, their boss dies. There's a party at their
I know
house.
it's about
I don't even know what
prop him up like a puppet.
It's a sequel. There's a sequel that they bring the body back as well with voodoo. It's not very good. The first one's kind of original, because of all the crazy anecdotes. When you see like The Simpsons and shit, where they're propping people up and they're knocked out and shit. It's a lot like that.
I know the premise of the film. I've just never watched it. I've heard it through pop culture mentions and
we should definitely do that
whatnot.
And the second one.
I think if I saw some clips of it, I'd remember it, because I can't even visualize it right now. So.
It's got. Is it Matthew Broderick? Is that it? 'Cause he loves him. Is it Matthew Broderick that does it? That's in it?
No, there's two unknowns. I can't even remember who plays Bernie. It's been a long time.
No, I'm thinking of a different film.
Yeah,
I get it.
I think I remember the beach house.
Yeah, I remember this. I've seen that in pop culture mentions.
I think.
So we got an interesting question here from Gav Hickey.
Hey Gav.
Who says, here's a question for the podcast. What are the top 5 movie scenes that got in your head and disturbed you for their brutality or chillingness?
Man, do it all the time.
So Friday the 13th, the fucking second one. Nightmare on Elm Street, sorry, the second one.
The second one?
Yeah,
the second
one.
What part?
I watched it as about a 7 or 8 year old. I was at my auntie and uncle's house.
Okay. And
there's a few jump scare moments, and I went, made me jump. I'm like, good one, dickheads. And then there was another jump scare moment. My uncle had walked outside, and I was sat next to the mirror, and he just banged on the mirror at the window and scared me to life. And then I woke up the next morning. My fucking cousins had got the Freddy Krueger glove and put it next to my pillow.
What?
Don't watch horror films because of that.
Okay, wait, no, take a breath, because all I got from that was. That doesn't answer his question. He said top 5 movie scenes. You just basically told him a family memory. You just let all those scenes fucking tormented me. Like Nightmare on Elm Street 2 is awesome when he pulls back the brain.
He climbs out.
In the shower sequence where he fucking wipes down his back, and when he climbs out of him, the dogs with the baby faces.
That film ruined horror films.
on Elm Street.
Look, I'm not saying it's a bad film. I'm just saying it affected me. I don't watch horror films because of that film.
Wow.
Wow, that's answered that. Thank you very much, Miriam.
I literally had time to think about this and put my list of 5 together.
Yeah.
The most recent offender for me is Bone Tomahawk. The sequence in that film where the guy gets scalped.
Nice.
Then they put his scalp in his mouth. It doesn't fit, and they break his face to make it fit. They turn I'm sorry, spoilers. I mean, the film's been out a while now.
Yeah, I still haven't watched it. He gave it to me 2 weeks ago.
They turn him upside down, so they're holding him up by his ankles, and they take a blunt axe to his naked body and cut him through the middle.
Oh, of course they do. Of course they do.
Of course, they only get halfway through before they can't cut through the torso. He was screaming until the point where they pull him by the legs and split him in two.
Why did Kurt Russell do that?
No, Kurt Russell was at that point laying on the floor going, "Oh my fucking god!" Like, what have I signed up to? It was true. I mean, I sat here. I watched it with Justine. Obviously, you've seen on the show.
Yeah, yeah.
And she turned to me at that point and said, "What the fuck are you making me watch?" And she was about to walk out of the room, and I was like, "I'm sorry. Like, I did not expect this sequence to appear in this film. Like, it's Kurt Russell. Like, you know, Disney's like love child." Like, you did not expect that sequence in the film.
After watching The Thing and he doesn't expect blood, guts and gore in a Kurt Russell movie. You expect anything.
Blood, guts and gore, yeah, no problem. Like The Thing didn't affect me at all. I watched that at a young age. I watched The Thing eating Christmas dinner. You know, I watched the dog mutate. I watched Palmer eat windows, and I'm sat there going, "You got any more gravy?" Like didn't affect me at all. But Stone Tomahawk, damn.
Yeah,
I also say I put in there Dell's execution by electric chair in the Green Mile.
Oh god,
that was the first film I ever had to pause and walk away and go get a drink and come back because I was just mentally shaken.
Where he doesn't put the cloth in there.
He doesn't wet the cloth, so he gets burnt instead of electrocuted.
Burst in the flame.
That was so horrible. Another sequence, the Blob. The death of Paul Taylor in the hospital. I saw that sequence as a child, never recovered. Like, when I would show people that film, and I would look away during that sequence. I couldn't watch it anymore. I had nightmares. The Blob was the scariest creature in horror at that point. Like, fuck the alien. The alien just kills you. Bang, you're dead. The Predator, fucking bang, you're dead. Michael Myers, you're dead.
Yeah.
The Blob, nah. I'm going to slowly melt your face off and your body. You know, it's just disgusting. Like, Requiem for a Dream. Fucking the whole film.
Yeah.
It's just nightmare-inducing material. Fucking Darren Aronofsky.
Yeah.
And lastly, Seven. Like, almost every kill in that film is haunting. It's fucking disgusting. Like, you know, the guy who's forced to eat to death.
Yeah.
The guy who's forced to put a blade on his penis and fuck a prostitute. Yeah. The guy that's tied to a bed for years. Just every one of them is horrific and is just enough to make you vomit. It's disgusting. Yeah. So those are my top 5.
Yeah, I've just seen Matthias has put in bringing up Society. I remember watching Society late one night and watching Society that fucking sequence. Yeah, but like when you've gotten like I'd finished board gaming with you guys, come home, turned on the TV at like midnight just to sit and chill and have a drink, and I'm watching some guy pull another guy inside out for his asshole. That's just pretty fucked up. You don't really expect it.
Film, though?
It's a film.
Yeah.
It's a film.
Personal experience.
I mean, like
the basket case sex scene.
Like 80s horror.
That's chilling for a whole different reason.
Yeah, the 80s horror is a whole different level for me. It's that realistic fucking shit that fucking sticks with you. Like Irreversible.
Oh god, the
rape sequence in Irreversible.
Rape sequence in the fire extinguisher.
That is the way it's filmed as well. You know, the way that you're going backwards. I've never watched that film again after the first time watching it because it stuck with me so much. You know, like I said, like I've never actually watched it all the way through, but I did YouTube it and wiki it. Fucking any of the shit from the Serbian movie.
Yeah, I mean,
I've heard about it. I don't want to watch it.
Yeah, no, but that shit puts me on edge. Like I can easily take like the sex sequence from Basket Case or any 80s horror because I'm looking at it, I'm like, that's just a load of prosthetic effects. When I'm having to actually sit there and analyze a sequence where a guy is doing what they are expecting in that film for him to do, which I'm not even going to justify it. Like I'm not even going to swear for it. Like it's just
that film seems like it was made just to be shocking for the sake of it.
But that will give me nightmares. I look at the Blob and I'm like, I look at Chucky, I'm like, Children of the Corn, Jaws, black and white, anything. Realism, like What's that Willem Dafoe movie? That Antichrist?
Yeah.
You know, I've only wikied that, and the nightmares that shit's kind of giving me. I'm like,
yeah.
You know, it's kind of disturbing.
Yeah, I mean, Mongo said Quint from Jaws. That scarred me for life.
Oh.
Yeah. That ending sequence when the shark. I mean, we're both. I mean, him telling the story about what happened with Indianapolis. You know, the actual imagination doing the work.
Yeah.
You know, his acting, reliving that story for you, brilliant. But yeah, the shark jumping up on the boat. I remember the first time watching that film, my mum just went, you know, she put her hand over my eye. She was like, "You cannot watch this sequence." So when I caught it years later and just watching him, you know, the shark chomping at him and his legs kind of kicking to try and keep away from the mouth.
Yeah.
Oh. Like that's more frightening than when his legs are in its mouth. Like just watching him try to kick away from it.
I've always liked that one in number 2 where the girl's trying to save the boy when the boat's all overturned.
Yes,
and it's literally you watch this overhead shot of the shark come out, and then it takes her, and then it cuts, and it's like it swallowed her whole and swam off.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Swallow your whole.
Mahoya just said, the hero dying at the end of Night of the Living Dead. Yeah. Oh, fucking Jesse just said the Zelda from Pet Sematary.
Jesse.
That one I put out of memory because it was so shocking.
Why don't you want to play with me?
No, that's Gabe. The fucking
I know, but Gabe's in my
bed.
head now. I know, because Zelda's in my head now. Thanks for that. Oh man!
Like Zelda in the remake, I'm just not even close to the original Pet Sematary.
You left me.
Sorry.
I'm not gonna sleep now.
Yeah. Never get out of the bed again.
Oh god. Oh yeah, the dog in The Fly too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I remember when I first watched The Fly 2, I ended up crawling across the floor like the dog. Just like I was so disgusted by it that the only way I could get over it was just to reenact it myself.
When that guy gets spat in the face with the acid and he's pulling his face off and screaming.
The guy on the elevator.
And he gets his head squashed.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're just thinking really good movies.
It's really great death sequences in movies. The Fly 2 is such an underrated film, I think.
Oh, totally. I always prefer... Well, not prefer. I like the first one. But then the second one does continue the story. And keeps the science alive. You know, it's like we are now trying to save this kid's life through the same science that his father was applying. You know, splicing two people together. Yeah. But all you really want to see is that giant fucking creature.
Yeah. You know, The Fly 1 is all about the story, but The Fly 2 is all about the kills. Yeah, it's all about the murder and the horribleness.
I always love that bit where he's sat on the sofa and he's kind of in a larvae state and he's covered in all the lace and he's about to crystallize and she's like, look at you, you're getting worse. And he's like, no, I'm getting better. You know, and I'm like, man.
DMC Campbell says he thought Critters 3 was underrated. Campbell, you are on your own.
Well, I mean, compared to the fourth one, you know,
Campbell, you've got Ian as company.
The third one's got her in it with the axe. You know,
there is nothing good about Critters 3.
No, there's nothing good about Critters 3. Next question.
Okay. Yeah, we got a question from David Allen Evans.
Hey, David.
Yo, gents, my question for you guys is, what film from the last decade do you feel is severely undervalued or unfairly maligned? My nomination, believe it or not, is The Lone Ranger with Gore Verbinski. While a little bit bloated and suffering from tonal whiplash now and again, it's a subversive, big-budgeted western with plenty to say and some amazing action scenes. While we're talking about Gore Verbinski, a cure for wellness, for fucking great and all.
Gore, The Lone Ranger, is that the one with Johnny Depp?
Yes.
I still haven't watched that yet.
It's, I've not watched the remake of it either.
And lots of action, I wanted to.
Yeah. My response to that, over the last couple of years, or the last 10 years, I would say is Annihilation from Alex Garland. Big fan of Alex Garland's work. Annihilation really got under my skin. Like, great visuals, I love the story, love the performances, and then after watching it, when I was, I turned Netflix off and I was like, that was really great. Let's go see what the reviewers and other critics thought. And it was just like, meh, like forgettable schlock. 5 out of 10.
I wikied Annihilation, like,
yeah, you did.
weeks
I'm not surprised.
Weeks before it's released, because I saw the trailer and realised it was a book, and then realised. But I love the view of it. Just absolutely loved what I got from the trailer. Like you, I couldn't wait. So I hit it and I read it, and I'm just like, that's going to be amazing. And it came and went and just disappeared. But everybody I have heard watched it, absolutely loved it. I'm
also going to throw in Cloud Atlas. I really love that film. And again, it's another film that not many people liked. When that film finished, I was just like, I didn't want that film to end. I was enjoying it so much. All the different stories and all the different characters, and watching Viggo Mortensen playing those random characters. You sat there like, is that him? That is him.
Tom Hanks and is it Halle Berry?
Halle Berry,
yeah. I was very, because the wife just put it on in the background one night while I was working, and I just had to stop working because you can't because it covers time travel and jumps back and forth so much, and it's like 3 hours long, 2 hours, 3 hours, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole first section is establishing who these people are.
Yeah.
And if you don't pay attention, you will easily go, I have no idea what's going on, because Viggo Mortensen is a woman, then he's this, then he's that, and it's all over
Every
the place.
actor in that film plays like 5 roles.
Exactly. So I had to stop working, sat down and watched it. By the end of the movie, I'm like, that is amazing.
Yeah.
Because I fully understood everything that they were trying to
the guy that wrote Cloud Atlas is working with Lana Wachowski on the next Matrix film. So whatever collaboration they had with that one is blossomed and is carrying on.
Tom Hanks in Matrix 4.
He's going to be the new agent. So I saw a question pop up just now. One from Dave.
Oh yeah. Hey, hey chat.
What would Gary rather dance to? Bon Jovi, Living on a Prayer, or Alice Cooper's Poison? And that's an incredibly tough question.
We should play it now. Let's find out.
I'll tell you,
Bon Jovi.
Bon Jovi usually wins, but that's not my Bon Jovi song of choice. But my theme song. Do you know it?
It's fucking Bon Jovi.
It's Bon Jovi.
Shut up! I'm trying to sing the song.
Test of friendship.
It's now or never. I'm gonna live forever. My time is my time. No, it's my. What's it? I can.
Friendship tested.
My life. No, it's my life. Yeah, it's my life. Yeah, my life.
So your answer is
Bon Jovi, My Life.
My Life.
Oh, you're close.
You got two of the 3 words right.
It's my life. Yeah, it's my life. Yeah, we still fucking.
That was painful to watch.
I was singing the song in my head, and it kept reversing just a bit. It's like I couldn't get past that visual. What the fuck's
It's My Life was my theme song. I played that song every morning for a decade.
It's now or never. He would, I
love that song so much.
As soon as he gets the boots on, that's it.
Once I've had a few too many beers and that song comes on, that's it.
Chances are tomorrow morning
clear space on the dance floor.
Yeah. I'll be up before him.
The way you used to kick as well.
Drank too much. We got a question from Jesse.
Hey Jesse.
Question: actor cameo in a movie that made you say, "What the fuck?" Last night, my kid and I were watching Jason X. Well, I mean, it's a Jason film.
Yeah.
And in the first 5 minutes, my kid yelled, "Is that David frickin' Cronenberg?" Yeah, he turns up. I mean, David Cronenberg was a fan of the Friday the 13th series, so when
is he in the
he's the one who turns up at the beginning when they freeze him.
Man, I've started to blank that film out. Over
time. Jason X is a fan favorite because of how schlocky it is. It has some of the best kills in the franchise.
They freeze him and send him to space, and I know it's fun, but David Cronenberg at the beginning is. He shakes his head like, yeah, dude, yeah. I'm like, all right, okay.
I just love that it had 2 of the actresses from that shitty Andromeda TV series.
Yeah, she was an upgrade. Oh, he's been upgraded. Doesn't he get tackled by a black guy and they just burn in through atmosphere?
Zane says, yeah, it's better than Manhattan. I agree. Jason X is probably Jason X is one of the best Jason Voorhees movies. I've recently rewatched some of the Friday the 13th movies, and I'm like, the first one, classic. Second one, yeah. Third one, yeah. Fourth one, yeah. Fifth one, yeah. Jason X, fucking yes.
Right. No, don't listen to him. I think I'm the only right-sided.
Can't even speak.
I
can't
listen to him at the moment. I'm such in shock. He's just put Jason X on such a pedestal. Number 8 at least keeps the lineage alive and stays within the realm of Crystal Lake.
Does it?
Yeah, because he gets on the boat from Crystal Lake and then goes to Manhattan and will inevitably end up back at Crystal Lake.
Jason X is only good when he gets to Manhattan an hour and 10 minutes into the film.
Yeah, but it's the boat journey. It's not about the destination, it's about the journey.
Yeah, the journey.
Jason X, he's on a fucking spaceship.
Yeah, it's awesome. He gets the fucking double sleeping bag kill in the holodeck.
That is pretty funny.
It's fucking awesome.
He does smash that woman's head against
Jason X is like the greatest hits of Friday the 13th. You know, it's like one of those compilation movies.
Jason versus Freddy, I think, is still better.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. That's because Robert Englund steals the film.
Oh, when Jason steals that kill, and he's like, "No, she's mine." He's like, "Oh, this is going to kick off." Oh, that's right. You don't watch horror movies.
I don't watch horror movies.
No idea what the fuck we're talking about.
Sorry, Dan.
It's all right. It's
going
okay.
back to the question, Ian.
Yes.
What's your favourite random what the fuck cameo appearance in a film?
Oh man,
somebody said Hulk Hogan in Gremlins 2.
Yeah, that is a good one. I mean, when we were on the subject of fucking horror movies, fucking Busta Rhymes in Halloween Resurrection. I couldn't believe that fucking that was happening. Like now I've got Adam Sandler movies in my head, and I'm just like, I can't believe that guy was in there, and that guy was in there, and like
Adam Sandler was in Adam Sandler.
Yeah,
Adam Sandler gets a lot of money for some reason to make his movies, so it's no surprise that he gets people in there.
Yeah, like you wouldn't believe Johnny Depp turns up in an Adam Sandler movie.
You wouldn't believe it, but it does happen.
Bruce Campbell in Spider-Man. I'll go with that one. That will be my final one. Bruce Campbell in a Spider-Man movie. First time I saw Spider-Man, I was really excited. Being a Marvel comic book fucking fan, want to see superheroes on the screen, go to the cinema. Nobody's talking about Bruce Campbell. Nobody I know really likes the Evil Dead, you know, or we weren't even talking about a new series back then.
Right, yeah.
You know, Evil Dead was like quiet, and there he goes walking down to fight Macho Man Randy Savage. That's another one as well. Macho Man Randy Savage as Buzzsaw. He's going down to fight him, and he's just like, "Hey kid, what's your name?" I'm the Amazing Man Spider. It's like, you can't be called that. I got a thing on. It's the Amazing Spider-Man. I'm like, and then in the second one, he stops him from getting with Mary Jane. But I can't remember the third one.
He's the waiter.
Oh yeah, the waiter. He's about doing.
The second one, he's the
the
usher.
ticket attendant. Yeah.
I'll go with that. With Bruce Campbell, I remember watching From Dusk Till Dawn 2, and it opens with Bruce Campbell in an elevator, and I was like, I paused the film and I picked up the video, and I was just like, Robert Patrick, fucking blah 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 blah. I'm like, Bruce Campbell's name's not on here, like. And then he dies within 2 minutes of the film, and the rest of the film I'm just sat there like, shit, it's shit. You killed Bruce Campbell, it's fucking shit.
Robert Patrick's not bad in From Dusk Till Dawn 2.
No, he's not, but because they killed Bruce Campbell off in the first scene.
I love the fact they scare one of the vampires off with the medical cross on the side of an ambulance.
Yeah.
Because it's a cross.
Yeah.
You know.
So, leaving horror movies behind.
Yeah.
Well, another question from Dave saying,
"Hey Dave,
what's your go-to barbecue choice, food and drink?"
Meat,
burger,
beers,
burger, beers, burger and beers.
Well, it doesn't even have to be burgers. I'll take ribs, steak, hot dogs, chicken wings. Corn on the cob's amazing.
Just food.
You fucking food, man. Like I'll like barbecue meat, cooked meat. Actually, I'm hungry now.
I do like skewered kebab meat on a barbecue.
Oh, fucking with the little peppers.
Yeah.
You know, some sauce. And you get like a little jack potato and you put it in the tin foil and you just drop that in the coals while you're cooking the meat.
Yeah, but burger.
Cheese.
Keith David was in Something About Mary?
He was the dad.
Oh, yeah.
He was the dad.
Yeah.
Franks and Baines. Franks and Baines. That sequence. You get the that. I'll go back to the other question where it induces nightmares, where he catches his ball and you don't want to see it, but then the camera quickly gives you that quick flick of what it looks like where a ball gets caught with a zip. Whoa, motherfucker!
I'm glad to say I've never been there.
Oh, I have. It hurts.
I mean, it's kind of impossible when you see this.
No, man. When you're not
How
thinking,
do you do that?
Like you're commando. You're just chilling out. You're fucking taking it easy, and you paused your game. You've rushed to the toilet. You're doing everything up. You pull your zip up. It just catches the end. It just catches the end, ladies and gentlemen. And you kind of stand there thinking to yourself, don't want to call on anybody.
What
because
do? Do I unzip?
It's the only way, dude.
Push it through?
You do not want to go up. Okay, you do not want to go up because going up, you're just gonna the end. So you need to go back, and it's just a case of if it's too much, you gotta go to hospital. But if like the one time I did it,
I can't relate.
No.
I'm not. No,
I've only done it once, and that's the only time.
Zane wants to know,
hey Zane,
favourite John Carpenter movie endings. Personally, for Zane, he loves the sex scene at the end of They Live.
Hey baby, what's wrong?
Yeah, I mean, we mentioned it in the Starman. You were watching John Carpenter's sex scenes, and we drew a blank.
Yeah, and then somebody mentioned it with They Live, but not really. But the sex sequence in Prince of Darkness as well, but that one's edited out actually. Where Mustache Boy and the hero girl. I will list them off. The ending of Prince of Darkness is amazing. The ending of They Live is amazing. The ending of The Thing is amazing. I even like the ending of Vampires, by Deus Slayer.
That's a good ending. I like the vampires.
I like the ending of Ghost of Mars, where Ice-T comes running in to Natasha Henstridge and just
Ian,
chucks
you
her
can't
gun.
just pick every John Carpenter
I like the ending
ending
of Christine, where obviously Christine's radio is turned on. Yeah, motherfucker. I like the ending of Halloween and Halloween 2. Have I missed anything? Escape from LA, where Escape from New York, where he's pulling the tape out. Escape from LA, where he's just like, "Welcome to the world."
You're just listing the endings. Ian.
Body bags.
You said best, not
body
all.
bags, where he's just like head saw, and the camera pulls away. I think I got everything. In the Mouth of Madness, where he's just laughing, it's just like dun 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 dun.
I think that is my favourite John Carpenter.
The fog ending as well. The head decap as well. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Next question.
We got a question from Nathan Rowe.
Hey, Nathan.
Saying he's thinking of starting Red Dead from the start. He hasn't played it in that long.
Is that Revolver?
Should he consider doing it?
Is that Red Dead
Redemption?
Revolver, the first one on the Xbox.
Well, yeah, is he going to go to Revolver Redemption 2? I don't know.
You know what? As an online multiplayer, do not start the online unless you expect to actually get somewhere with it, because it's a chore and it's a learning curve, and you're going to get owned by a lot of high
and
level
there's no
heavy
content.
Players. Not yet.
Not yet. He's on 103 days, but there's not yet content.
Well, I've got all the content I need, man. But did you do the story, Nella?
What the
main story, single player story?
I am about 95% of the way through.
Right.
And the official story before the second story begins.
Yeah,
I know what happens. Yeah.
See that?
Yeah. But the multiplayer came out and it soured me so much. I went, no.
So you didn't even finish your Arkham Origin story?
No. Gary told me what happened.
Yeah, well,
Use my wiki.
Well, this was it. I mean, I never did the single player story for the first game, but the second one, if you love a Western and you desire a Western, that's all I gotta say at the moment. From being a fan, I desire a Western. I like riding around on my horse into a town. I bought 2 copies of True Grit, the John Wayne one and the remake, and just so that I could own them, and then I rode around on my horse. And if you get that, then yeah, but it's long.
I enjoy
it's a chore,
Red Dead Redemption single player story.
Is very good.
It was so good. It became my number one thing of last year.
Yeah.
It was so impressive. It's very rare that I'll be playing a video game and I'll be so swept up in the emotion that I'm bawling, I'm crying.
Man,
whilst the cutscene carries on, it's like, oh my God, I am seriously affected by this narrative. I can't believe how much I care about these characters.
You were like that with the first game. I remember you saying to me, man, like, you
the
gotta
ending
play
was
this. And I'm like, I'm okay.
And so I've kind of put Red Dead Redemption aside. I'll play the multiplayer with you for every now and again because I enjoy it. But
only every now and then.
But for actually replaying it from start to finish again, I'm just kind of like The Witcher 3, where I'm just kind of like, Red Dead, you were so good. I'm just going to put you over here, and when I need that pure Western fix, I'm going to pick you up again.
Did you ever
just play through the story? I don't care about all the side quests anymore or doing all the other challenges. I'll just play the story through again.
I was going to say, did you
redo the
voice
first one? Because the voice acting
one?
and the animations was so good.
Did you redo the first one?
I never. I actually did replay the first one because I went for the platinum trophy on gold in every single mission.
Well, you do the stories missions 2 or 3 times in that one.
Yes,
that freaked me out that you never did the zombie nightmare in the first one.
I always meant to.
You always meant to, like 2
did.
great things: Red Dead Redemption and zombies. And I'm like, dude, are you playing it? He's like, nah, I'm playing something else. So like, Yeah, like with the second one, I knew the story had to be amazing for you to stick with it. And then I knew as well that once the story was done, you'd be done with it because you weren't interested in multiplayer. Even though everybody said to me that they were going to get together with the posse, I was like, it's going to be one of those games. We're going to try to get together, and when we can, we will. For a long time, I'll agree with you, it was beta. There was no content. There was nothing. But, for me, I did the same thing with GTA 5. I
did the same thing as I did to Red Dead.
As soon as I went on multiplayer, that was it. I was lost to GTA 5. I never did the story for GTA 5, the single player, ever. And I never will. I don't ever intend to, because my story is the multiplayer.
Sure, you create your own story.
I create my own story.
RPG. I know you do. That's
RPG. You heard that, motherfucker? I take that as a quote. RPG.
He was talking about GTA, not Red Dead.
Both by Rockstar, both the same game.
No, that's not how games work.
It is.
If they're by the same developer, they're the same game.
Think outside the box now.
The sandbox. Yeah. I mean, the genre that game is
exactly.
Sandbox.
See, you're
not RPG.
Totally. Next question.
I didn't say it was an RPG. I said, Ian, you RPG it.
Yeah,
you role play.
That's what I said.
Game. Yeah. We got another question from Jesse.
Hey, Jesse.
Do you all ever burn out waiting on a game?
Yes.
I waited for Dragon Age Inquisition for so long, I got pissed. Same is happening now for Metroid 4 and Darksiders 3.
Darksiders 3 is out.
But Metroid hasn't...
Darksiders 3 is out? Yeah, it is out, isn't it?
Darksiders 3 is out. It's atrocious.
Yeah,
I never actually played it.
Oh, is that Wrath, isn't it? The
girl? Yeah, it's the girl one. And they've announced that the fourth one's going to come out, I think, Strife.
I guess the gap between 2 and 3 was prolonged. I mean, the studio went under, wasn't it? Was it THQ?
Yeah.
Yes. I loved 1.
I loved 1.
2 was great until about 75% through the story, and I went, this is mature. I finished it. 3, I was really looking forward to it because I read all the books. I absorbed all of the lore I could get in that.
They dropped it after the first one, dude. I couldn't get into it after
I didn't even bother with the third one. I burned out on the second one.
I didn't touch the third one because I heard really awful things.
The first one had a really good idea, and I was looking forward to it. And then because the second one was a bit of a drag, waiting for that one to come out because something happened, and we didn't think a game was going to come out. And then all of a sudden, I got Death, and I'm like, okay, brilliant. Where is this? Oh, there's a storyline completely happening that I have no idea because you're trying to explain it in the 2 games from this one.
Yeah.
Well, those books. That's where you sort of.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but if you.
Which I read, and I got that extra value from it from reading. The books.
Yeah, well, I wanted to play it though. I wanted to be the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse. I'm not getting the 4 Horsemen. I'm getting War, Death, Strife, Fury, Pestilence. Phil.
He's mentioning different things. It's War, Death, Strife, and Famine, I believe.
Strife's not one of the 4 Horsemen.
That's them.
No, the fourth, that fourth one is always interchangeable. Like I watched Supernatural and they had the 4 Horsemen. I'm like, oh, they changed
Death,
it.
Famine, Pestilence, and War. Those are always your 4 main. And I always expected Pestilence and Famine to be coming out, but I'm like, how are you going to play Famine like the character? So I knew they'd have to change it. Yeah, but yeah, Darksiders name. Yeah, Metroid as well.
I've not really waited that long for a game. I guess I was really waiting for the Resident Evil 2 remake, but I didn't kind of burn out waiting for it. I guess I'm really patient when it comes to waiting. I'm waiting for Cyberpunk. Take as long as you need. Delay if you need to. I'll wait until you're ready.
This is why
Final Fantasy 7 remake.
Final Fantasy 7 remake. Oh, yeah.
Did you see that?
20 years I've been waiting for that.
Have you seen they're doing Final Fantasy 8?
Yeah, they've done it. It's out in a couple of weeks or something.
It.
And they've done what I want them to do with 7. It's a HD remake, not a fucking imagining.
7 was HD remade like several times.
Yeah. See,
no.
See, the problem is I don't.
Was it remastered?
With not having the time, my games are very specific. So like I'm waiting for Doom. You know, after Doom 2016, I never thought I'd get another Doom game after final Doom. You know, I thought Doom 3, sorry. I thought Doom was all done. And then all of a sudden they just drop it. It's the same thing with Rockstar, what Rockstar do. You know, they go, here's a game, it's going to be good. And there's no announcement to it. These other games are announced like, I don't give a flying fuck about Star Citizen. You could give me a goddamn... you could give me Skynet to fucking play Star Citizen. I'm not going to waste 7 hours flying around space.
I'm not going to touch Star Citizen.
I haven't got 7 hours. If I did, then maybe, but I'd need all the fucking... You burn yourself out when you actually look into how much time, money, and effort it's going to take to play that game.
It's just when that originally came out and the Kickstarter was happening, it was like, oh, I broke this record. Oh, we rebroke it again the next day. We've raised $1 billion and think for a game that's just never going to come out and it's never going to live up to the hype.
Yeah.
It's not what they're going to bill it as. And I've heard people going, it's going to be the best game ever. It's not. It's really not.
It's already out and it's in beta. And you know, if you
and I've had people offer to give me it for free. I'm like, save your money because I'm not going to touch it. I'm not going to waste my time.
Say what you want about Red Dead's beta. At least they fixed that and worked on it.
I wouldn't know. I didn't go back.
but yeah, no, you gotta be patient with the games.
So we got a question from Mongo.
Hey Mongo.
Asking, who would you cast in a Stan Lee biography?
Carl Urban.
Done.
Well, no, his chin wouldn't work. I mean, does his chin match?
Not quite. No. That's a tough one, really.
Would you?
I mean, you're going to do the entire life story from like, you know, struggling artist to working for Marvel, you know, and then, you know, the first movies being made all the way up to the MCU kind of times, like the entire
I think
biography.
You should keep it timeline based, like 70s. Keep it based in the 70s. Maybe story wise, his childhood. Like you can tell his childhood, but you want to see the struggle, like the struggle that it took him.
I want to see the whole story, like from life to death. I want the whole biography.
You want a Netflix series?
I don't want to see.
Yeah,
it doesn't interest me. That I don't want to see his. I don't care about his story. I care about the stories he's written.
Yes, yeah. I don't know. I think Stan Lee's got.
But he's telling you his story and the stories he sees through those comics. All the stuff with Spider-Man, the Hulk. You know, he even says in interviews, the Hulk is him. You know, all of his anger that he wanted to lash out.
Yes,
all of the characters came from him. All of the struggles he went through. Like there was a point. Like think about it. There was a point where somebody had a choice, looking at his cartoons, going, "Yay or nay." You know, and could have described.
But they were also reflections of the time as well. You know, of the nuclear Armageddon. You know, and all of the Hulk and everything else.
Yeah, and it got people reading the papers, and then all of a sudden, like what we're talking about earlier, Disney and Sony fighting over the rights. Yeah. They were doing it back then when the companies are like, hey, Dark Horse or DC have got Batman. What have we got? Stan? And then all of a sudden, you know, I always think it's amazing, don't you think, that there's not been a Namor character on the MCU?
Yeah.
Mate, Namor is a main Avenger, and yet Aquaman there. Like that's how they could tell probably Namor's story is through the Stan Lee biography. But I totally lost on them.
I would really struggle to pick an actor.
Edward Norton.
He's a versatile actor. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'd really struggle to find someone who could really show him throughout the ages.
Brad Pitt. He played Benjamin Button. All that makeup.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just age him over time.
Brad Pitt's
I believe it.
Yeah.
Jake Adams says, can you imagine the ending to the Stan Lee biography and every actor from the Marvel Universe playing their character crowded around him in his bedroom saying it's okay to let go? That would be an ending.
It'd have to be a big room.
Yeah. Mr. Will Guitar says, if you
Will
had to recast Ghostbusters, who would you pick, sirs? I'd go with Steve Carell, Goldblum, Paul Rudd, and Ryan Reynolds.
Nice. That's actually not a bad
that's a pretty good selection.
You know, who would you have playing who? Steve Carell would. No, Jeff Goldblum would be Egon.
Yeah.
Paul Rudd would probably be the Winston style character. Steve Carell would be the Ray, and Ryan Reynolds would probably be Bill Murray's.
Yeah.
I would go with Melissa McCarthy, Kristen Head, is it? Kristen, you know, I can't remember what the other lady was called, and that other one, and maybe get Thor in it.
Chris Hemsworth. Yeah.
He could play like a receptionist.
Do you work for Sony, Ian?
We were talking yesterday, actually. Sorry to go.
Do not hide that. You show that.
I appreciate that, Jesse. Fuck you, Ian.
Fuck you, Ian.
We were talking yesterday on the Discord channel.
Steve Buscemi for Janine.
We were talking talking yesterday on the Discord channel about really dodgy movies that are out there, like Serbian movie and things like that. And there's one called 120 Days of Sodom about some fascists who do some really nasty shit. And for some reason, we got into the state of Ghostbusters with all the female lineup, and we thought it'd be a really good idea if the Americans remade that 120 Days of Sodom, right? Because the Americans love remakes. You know,
don't we all do?
But you replace all the Nazi fascists with the 4 women from Ghostbusters.
Who would you root for?
And just reenact all the kind of same scenes. It got really dark.
I've still not watched the Ghostbusters remake, and I won't. I don't.
Good for you, sir.
It's
terrible.
Exactly. That's why I'm not going to watch it, because I know it's going to be terrible.
Great, but I've seen worse. It's bad. Don't get me wrong. I'm not.
What?
True. I will say I have seen worse than the Ghostbusters remake, but it's still it's bad for lots of different reasons.
Oh, it's right up there with the Robocop remake. And,
and the Total Recall remake.
And the Poltergeist remake.
And the Poltergeist remake.
Yeah.
And
that list is getting endless. Almost.
Oh yeah, what other remakes?
I didn't watch it for the same reason. I wasn't happy with the James Bond announcement, because I thought they made that choice for the wrong reasons. They didn't do it because we think these are the best people to play these roles. Like, oh, look how PC and
the social justice warrior movement is pretty damn strong lately.
I don't think that was the case. I think it was a case of they wanted to try something. Hey, let's just stick 4 girls in the.
Then why call it Ghostbusters? Call it something else.
Because they had the contract. They have the contract. That's the thing. They have to make a Ghostbusters movie. We always said they should have made an extreme Ghostbusters movie with a bunch of teens, but people would have kicked off about that. So this was.
I'd rather have seen that.
Loved that.
Yeah.
Like,
you and I would have loved that, but half the fucking world would only want the 4 original stars to come back and reenact the sequences. Which is... Oh, wow, Jesse.
I'd watch that.
Wow, Jesse.
I'd watch Bitchbusters.
Yeah. I mean, I got to admit, I do like it simply because for the what's it? Is it Kate McCormick? Love Kate McCormick. I love Kate McCormick like you like
Melissa McCarthy. Yeah. I'll watch almost any Melissa McCarthy movie.
Yeah. We are totally doing the Ghostbusters remake at some point for Kate McCormick and Melissa McCarthy.
I'm disliking that video. I am going to be that guy that goes on there at 7:30 and I'm disliking that video.
Me too. I'm making an account to dislike that video.
But that's the thing. It's got no Adam Sandler in it, so he's not going to hate it.
No, he's going to be Janine.
It's got Melissa McCarthy in it that he likes and Kate McCormick that I like, and we're just going to be like, yeah, that was okay. Next.
Fair enough.
Oh man, the chat are just going crazy at the moment, aren't they? Remake The Master of the Flying
Ian,
Guillotine.
what is the worst remake you've ever seen? I mean, there are a lot of terrible remakes out there.
There are a lot. I mean, I try to avoid them if I'm honest.
Yeah, I'm torn between the Total Recall remake, the Ghostbusters remake, and the Psycho one.
See, right, I've only seen the Psycho one once. And it is literally just a colour version of the other one.
Yeah.
I hate it for that reason, but it's not a bad film. It's not a bad film. It's shot for shot exactly like the original. So,
Nightmare on Elm Street and the Mummy. The Mummy I switched off halfway through.
Oh, yeah.
Nightmare on Elm Street I watched in the cinema, and yeah, that was...
the Nightmare on Elm Street movie, that'll be my worst.
That just reminds me, I watched an interview with Robert Englund recently, and he was like, look, I would actually come back and do one more Nightmare on Elm Street movie. He said, I've got it within me. He's in his 60s.
Wow.
But he was just like, look, I'll do one more, because I predicted when we reviewed Nightmare on Elm Street, I was like, there's at least one more film in him within this franchise. He wanted to do one more after Freddy vs. Jason.
Yeah.
And Nightmare on Elm Street, it's one of my favourite horror franchises. I know it was derailed after the 3rd film, but it's like, I love Freddy Krueger. I mean, he became the character I rooted for. I'm sorry, man.
Oh man, Freddy Krueger is fucking awesome. All of the Nightmare movies.
He's nightmare fuel.
He is hilarious.
It's really, really good. The second one has got the dog.
So I would,
the remake
I would shit myself if he came back to make another film.
I was really excited about the remake. I was hoping that because new fucking horror movie. Nightmare, and I didn't mind the Friday the 13th one that they'd remade, because Jason's just walking around the forest just killing teens.
Yeah.
I mean, we reviewed it and we slated it, but I've reviewed it and I'm like, oh. When it got to a point in the movie, A Nightmare, where the kids were like, maybe he was a good guy, I was like, turn this fucking shit off.
Like Jake's just said, this is what I was getting to, is that Robert Englund was like, Kevin Bacon should take over the role of Freddy. And even Kevin Bacon just turned to the fan who suggested it to him and went, I like the way you think. Can you see Kevin Bacon as Freddy? Do you think he can do it? Would you like to see it? And because Robert Englund even said, whoever you cast as Freddy Krueger, they can't just do one film. You're looking at the next franchise.
Man, I'm sorry, my mind is just completely blown. I mean, they have to do this.
They have to do it now.
Like if you have to have Kevin Bacon in a Nightmare on Elm Street movie to complete the circle. He started in a Friday the 13th, and he gets to Nightmare on Elm Street,
where he's Freddy.
Yeah, like 6 steps of bacon. Like the universe would be completed then.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I want it to happen. I want it to happen.
Man, yeah, he gets killed by Jason and becomes Freddy.
That's how it works.
But it's difficult. It's difficult as well to release films as well based on a pedophile.
Well, yeah, I mean, yes, it is, and at least with the original franchise of films, you kind of forget about that.
Yeah, you do,
because he was a child killer. And it's
it was a child
that's
killer.
not as bad.
Yeah, and that's why they got more fun. They got more. Yeah. That's why they got more fun, because
the remake was just like, no, child rapist.
Yeah, the first, second, and third one really hit you at home. That kids could get killed at home in the safety of their home by a murderer with a knife. You didn't want to believe it. You really don't want to believe it. And then when they start to bring that shit out and start to put it in your face again, like I said, it's the same thing I was saying about Rob Zombie earlier with his films. Are you really gonna come out with cinema going, wow, I really enjoyed it when he kneecapped that person? Yeah. Same with Nightmare. You're gonna come out going, man, when he strung that 6-year-old up and sliced her in half, the gore effects, wow.
You're on your own. Thomas Dorsey said, remake of The Warriors, tons of money. The Warriors remake's in production already. It's in production. It's going ahead.
That film. So, I was thinking, if we don't have a game lined up for maybe next year's stream,
the 24-hour, the 12-hour stream,
the 12-hour
Lion King, we've already decided. You made that claim that you could beat it. You should just go with the game.
5 hours done.
You heard him. He said 5 hours. It's on record now.
The Warriors. I would love to do the Warriors playthrough.
The Warriors game. Yeah, we can do that for the next 12 hours stream.
That was one of the best game to film renditions, and it's Rockstar.
Yes. Yeah. It was meant to have been a gaming Friday for years, but we could just never get the bloody thing to work.
Yeah, because the
capture software wouldn't work.
That's it. It's not backward compatible either.
No, it's not. And it was
you need an original Xbox to play it on.
Yes, and the capture software just wouldn't let the PC connect to capture the footage. Just kept getting black screens every time we tried.
Yeah.
But
Kevin Spacey to play Freddy.
No, Kevin Spacey's already bloody playing Freddy without
being burned. Kevin Spacey's coming for you. 3, 4, better lock your door.
I'm gonna have nightmares tonight.
But you are gonna have nightmares. Okay, we need another question. What we got?
Yep, look into the chat for any more questions before we bring the podcast to a close.
Oh, well, how long have we gone for, actually?
3 hours now.
Yeah.
Wow.
So much for a shot, wasn't I?
Jesus.
And it is really warm in here now.
I was going to say, I must have lost 3 pounds already.
Definitely.
I'm like, I could eat a whole pizza to myself. What should be remade?
That's a great question. What should be remade?
Final Fantasy 7.
Yes, Final Fantasy 7 should be remade.
As Final Fantasy 7, it's just monstrosity that they're making.
No, I should ask you.
I should ask
you that question later. Yes, Eric Brown's.
Movies. We're talking movies.
Eric Brown's. Yes, seen The Sopranos. What should be remade? The Black Hole. Disney should remake the Black Hole. The Black Hole should remake that one, and they should keep it dark but still childlike. That'd be mine.
A Willow remake.
I
mean, they've talked about a Willow TV series for the longest time. And even the actors, Val Kilmer and...
man, did you hear about Val Kilmer's surgery?
Yes, cancer.
Yeah,
cancer,
and then they just managed to get him in for the Kevin Smith movie.
Yeah. I know, because that's why there was one of the reasons why Top Gun was delayed.
Yeah.
Was because Val Kilmer's illness. It's tragic. Yeah.
Yes, Jesse. They should totally redo
Kroll. Yeah, that's a good choice.
Have you guys seen The West Wing? No, I've been massively binge watching a lot of The Sopranos on YouTube recently. I realised recently why I don't watch TV shows like that anymore. Because The Sopranos is the greatest TV show ever. And I will also put up, because I've been YouTubing it and wikiing it as well, The Wire. I really want to watch The Wire.
Yeah.
All the way through.
I've heard good things about it. It's just something I've not had time to...
I always got it confused with The Shield, because The Shield's got the Thing motherfucker from Fantastic Four. But I've realised now my mistake, and I'm like, The Wire and The Sopranos I think came out at the same time. All about gang violence and shit like that. Yeah, I was just... Sorry, sidetrack.
I was just thinking of what should be remade. I'm like, Stephen King's The Stand, it's being remade. Stephen King,
Cujo.
anything, it's being remade.
Stephen King's Cujo.
I think everything, anything Stephen King related pre-2000 is being remade anyway. Like, you probably won't have to wait too long.
Man,
Spider-Man remake,
I saw
the origin story again.
Do you know, I saw it in HMV when I was looking for my Western movies. I saw it there and I was like, yeah, I'm not buying you yet until the second part comes out. And I'm not watching you yet until the second part comes out. And I just
still not watched it?
Still not watched it. Do you know what was creepy though? Was I was picking up True Grit and I kind of turned around and for a second I was like, imagine if you just saw a red balloon in the room, just in, like, and I would love to do this, is when the new It comes out and everyone's talking about it, just leave red balloons lying around places. Walk into Waterstones and just let one just go. Just walk away.
If I saw you doing that, I would attack you.
Do you think we're going to get a resurgence of people dressing up as killer clowns?
Oh, fucking hell yeah.
Again.
And they didn't do it for the original. Well, when that one was released, it was before that.
Yeah, it was just before that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But it was the build-up as well about clowns being scary again. Yeah. Island of Dr. Moreau, Jesse. Yeah, I would love to see a remake of that.
I think that was the film that broke Val Kilmer.
Yeah, but he's so good in it.
Yeah.
Because he was doing that and Ghost in Darkness at the same time.
Val Kilmer was literally going from film to film to film to film without a break. Drove him mad.
Cocaine up the nose on movies.
I
don't know really.
On movies.
On movies, yeah. He's that good. He's that good. Yeah. What else we got there? Remake Batman Forever. I kind of want to watch. I want to watch Batman Forever now. Remake Close Encounters of the Third Kind. You ever seen that, Nella? Close Encounters. Steven Spielberg.
No.
That's a big movie. That one.
Have I? Have I? No.
Richard Dreyfuss. Big, massive.
No, not seen that one.
Wiki that one later. Tell me what.
Yeah, I do. Then I'll have seen it.
Man, we are going to have such fun tomorrow board game, and we're just going to be talking about wiki and shit.
Yeah.
Like, what did you wiki last night?
I wiki this. Favorite porn stars? Ava Devine, Sarah J, Gina Michaels.
Jesus, Ian, you didn't even have to think about this.
Man, I had before I got married, there was a catalogue of women I wanted to marry. And then I got married, and so I was just like, sorry, ladies, you missed out.
It's fair. It's fair.
You know?
Favorite porn stars?
I don't know. Girl next door. Just any girl next door.
The girl next door. Is that your search category? Just go log into Pornhub. Girl next door.
If you don't think that shit'll come up, that'll come up.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, that's got to be like a pretty natural kink, right?
As soon as you, his doesn't do Google. It does girl next door.
Okay, Google. Search for
girl next door porn.
Yeah, it's already up.
Oh, now how many people's phones just done that? I would struggle to name.
I tell you, I used to like Gianna Michaels because she was filthy.
Man, well, I say this like going off the subject thing. I say this when I was younger, you know, before I got married, before I had girlfriends and stuff like that, I had a lot of time of my own. So I hadn't met a lot of ladies on the internet.
I'm just worried where his hands are right now.
Yeah, but also remember the internet was really shit when I was growing up. So it was just like Google was just like...
You had to buffer it.
Porn.
It's like in Simpsons when he's downloading it. The picture of...
man.
I'm just imagining Randy now from South Park when the internet goes down.
Man, I'm not afraid to admit... Man, when I was younger, you know, pause button, Basic Instinct, you know, there was... There was times
with the static lines going across
the static lines. You were like tracking.
Oh no!
You know, we say, "Oh, we watched Friday Freddy's movie because of the horror." No, we watched it for the tits because there were tits.
That's why I watch Porky's.
Oh, Porky's is a good one. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a good way to end on that one.
I think I'm gonna bring this podcast to a close.
Yes.
On that heated topic. I think we all need 10 minutes alone.
I know I need to cool down, and it's nothing to do with the heat.
I don't. I'm married now. You know, my time's all taken up. There's only one woman in my life. You know, she's a goddess to me, my Calypso. She knows it. You know.
You guys say that.
These guys need 10 minutes now.
Can I have your phone then?
Man, it's pretty shit. You can check it. It's one of those flip ones.
I just want to say a big thank you to everyone that's donated. A big thank you to those that are patrons, that are subscribed, that have given their requests or given their questions, that like and subscribe every video. Thank you for turning up. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for loving what we do. I also want to say thank you, Ian, and thank you, Dan.
Yeah, man. Fist bump for the Dan.
We'll be back next month with another podcast. No Gaming Friday next week, but of course, new film reviews on Thursdays. You can find us on Facebook, on Twitter, and on Patreon. Big thank you to everyone. We'll see you next time.
Take it easy. Peace out.
Bye.
Freeze frame.
Freeze frame.